Alright, this is Danhausen here, very nice or evil. You are watching Tru Heel Heat. Probably should have had MJF do this, but here we are.
What's up, Tru Heel Heat? Tru Heel Heat.
What's up? Tru Heel Heat.
Last week, we started off 2023 with Vince McMahon forcing his way back into WWE. And this week, the second week of 2023, we deal with the fallout of that, including his daughter, Stephanie McMahon, resigning from the company as CEO. We had the WWE sale rumors heat up as a couple of buyers stand out. Is it going to be Saudi Arabia? Is it going to be Harlem in the background raising her hand? Is it going to be Tony and Chad Khan? Is it going to be Disney? We're going to talk about all of that, plus all the wrestling from this week. Adam Cole's return, Game 7, Bloody Massacre on Rampage, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn on Smackdown, plus much, much more. Plus a special guest, Rich Fann is back with us. Let's get started. This is Tru Heel Heat 208. Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube and Facebook for Tru Heel Heat 208, the daughter demise / buying what they selling, discussing the latest wrestling news, including Vince McMahon's WWE hostile takeover continues with Stephanie McMahon resigning from the company completely, sale rumors heating up, recap of this week's shows, including AEW Dynamite from Los Angeles, California, with the return of Adam Cole, baby. Elite versus Death Triangle, Game 7, Escalera de la Muerte, AEW Rampage with a bloody women's war. Impact Hard to Kill was last night with Mickie James versus Jordan Grace title versus career in the main event. WWE SmackDown had KO versus Sami Zayn, Raw, NXT, GCW Save Me, Impact on Access TV, plus all the co-hosts will give you their choices for the match of the week. Of course, I am back with the beautiful, the lovely Miss Krissi Luv. Welcome back.
Good morning.
First time for 2023.
I know it's probably too late to say Happy New Year, but Happy New Year. I don't care. Whatever. I leave you in the new year, and this is the shit show that you bring me. Great. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate.
Krissi thought that she dodged one by not showing up last week, but 2023 said, hold my beer, 2022. Yes, we're starting off with the bang.
Yep.
We have a very special guest for us. He actually joined us, I believe, at the start of 2022 last year.
Yes.
So we're making this a year-round celebration, but I'm going to make sure we give him more than once in 2023. He is the main man over at PWTorch, one of the most knowledgeable people that I know in this wrestling media game. Always insightful, always bringing that heat. It's Rich Fann from PWTorch. What's going on, good brother?
Not much. Happy New Year to both. Looking forward to chatting and talking about all this craziness that's happened in the past. We're not even we're 2 weeks into the new year, and it's just already everything's on fire.
They're trying to put out fires in WWE. We got people bloodying everywhere. It's been a crazy week, but like how have you been starting off 2023? How's it been for you so far?
Oh, not bad, not bad. I can't complain at all. I think work is always fun, whether it's at the day job or at the Torch. And I think being able to talk about this stuff is always a great way to kind of get some perspective on not only like when we talk about the sale, not only the people behind what's going on, but also kind of, don't matter how many zeros you got in the bank account, Messi's still messy.
Yes, definitely. We're going to be talking about a very messy situation in WWE. But we, of course, thank you all for joining us live, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time, every single Saturday. Tru Heel Heat, the flagship podcast, the Saturday Cookout. We welcome you. You can grab a plate and enjoy, strap in as we talk about an insane week in professional wrestling. Remember to drop the thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. We go live about 6 days a week, so you can always get something new from us, whether it's pre-recorded or live, but we are always here. And of course, sound off in the live chat. We want to hear from all of you on everything that has gone down this week. We had two breaking news videos on Tuesday, because Tuesday was one of the craziest days in wrestling in probably the past 6 months. It's only been 6 months since it's been this crazy. But yeah, this is probably it's been a very busy week, but we're here to recap it all, and we want to hear from all of you. Of course, your super chat donations are always appreciated. It helps the channel grow. It helps out all the contributors on the channel. It goes to all of them, and we appreciate all the love that y'all give us in the live chat. So we'll try to highlight as many comments as possible, like the good brother Safet here with us. We got John saying good afternoon from the UK. Hope everyone is doing well. We got
Good
Dolores.
afternoon.
Yes, we got Dolores here with us saying, what's up, everyone? The Negro Buck says, what's up, Sid and Krssi? Welcome back, Rich. We got Rabani, who was here early. He said, I'm waiting to get started. He was like, hi, everyone. We got our guest from last week, the good brother Benno, who joined us for the start of this crazy year of 2023. Benno from the Gravel App podcast Spotlight saying, what's up, guys? Not much to talk about again. Yeah, I can never just talk about good wrestling in a week. Like last week,
we can never have a short, simple show.
We couldn't just talk about Wrestle Kingdom last week. We had to talk about Vince, and now this week we can't talk about one of the best Dynamite episodes of all time until after we get through all this messy stuff with WWE. Negro Buck saying, despite winning season 2 of the prediction contest, I missed the hard to kill predictions. I blame Sony because I was mourning the loss of my PS4. And yes, Negro Buck is the winner of season 2 of our prediction championship. For season 3 started with hard to kill, so I'm on a good pace. I'm in the lead, guys. Rich, you're rooting for me, right?
Are you
I'm in
really?
the lead.
Of course.
Oh God.
Listen, I'm rooting for you up until the point where
You guys better start
somebody
putting up some money or like trophies.
Ooh.
Oh, now you just want me to spend money. See, you trying to break my pockets. Hey, super chat donation.
No, I'm not
that
saying
will,
just
that
you.
will help us
it's
out.
everybody. You want to play? You got to pay.
Exactly. Play to pay. There you go. That's what I like to hear. Everybody saying hi, guys, from India. Welcome. We got India. We got the UK in the chat. We repping. We repping out here this Saturday.
Guys.
We got Mario who says, hi, guys. How you doing? We got Frantic Girl saying, what's up, SP3, Krssi, Rich, and Chad, and Dolores. I always can count on Dolores. Dolores is my main gal in the chat, always putting the plugs out saying, don't forget, join THH Patreon, best money you'll spend. Yes, you can watch me suffer through reviewing Raw every single week. I do it for the content, and I do it for y'all. I have to watch 3 hours of Raw, so you don't have to. So join us on Patreon, where it's getting tougher each and every week reviewing that show. Anyway.
That's how SmackDown used to be. We used to dread it. Oh man.
Yeah.
I mean, still is, but still.
I will say, it's better than it was maybe 8-9 months ago, but it's still a 3-hour show. And a 3-hour show where not a lot of things happen that I can talk about. That's really tough. It's really tough to review.
Yeah.
Of course, we got to shout out all the people supporting us on social media, the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel and Patreon. First, starting off with our Tru Heel Roll Call, our top 3 conversation starters on our Facebook group page. We got Joe Bellini, Alan Weinstein, and the Negro Buck, Nick Jackson, coming in at number 1 once again this week. Patreon backers, we got Nick, we got Alan, we got Vala B, Alex McCarthy, Professor Chris, Austin K, You My Boy Blue, Yachty, Robert, Steve, Antoine, 5th Generation Carney, Ladarius, John, Dan, Kobe, Queen Moan, and of course, like I said before, Dolores, who always putting in the plugs. We appreciate each and every one of our Patreon backers. You help us continue to do the content that we do each and every week here. So, speaking of content, let's get right into it. Are you guys ready to get into this messy situation?
Let's go.
I need to hear all the tea, so let's go. Yeah.
Now for Miss Krissi, we got to make sure we get some sage to light and kind of clean this up, because this is about to get messy.
It's about to get very messy. It's about to get very, very messy, ladies and gentlemen, because it is another.
I'm not ready because I don't know all the details, so I don't know
how the McMahon world turns. Vince McMahon unanimously voted executive chairman of the board and leads to Stephanie McMahon resigning from the company is our top news story this week. Yes, we had the second round of Vince McMahon's hostile takeover of WWE following the shocking announcement of McMahon forcing himself back into WWE last week. A new report has additional details on the reaction backstage in WWE. First, PW Insider put out their report over last weekend, saying they've spoken to several people in the company since McMahon made his return to the board of directors. The site notes that they can't say it was unanimous. Several people have been less than happy with the idea of McMahon returning. One person referenced the return as the T-Rex getting out of the pen. The site notes that there is a fear in WWE that the improvement in morale and backstage culture will revert if McMahon is more involved in the creative and day-to-day aspects of the business. McMahon has said that the management will not change, though it has been noted that there are those backstage who don't trust what he says, for good reason. Some in the company have noted one positive. McMahon's return has driven the stock price up due to expectations that a sale is on the table, and many as company employees were able to buy stock at a lower price. As such, they are able to make a nice profit if they do sell. Others in the company are concerned about what the company will look like if it sells, particularly if a large company buys them, as it could very possibly result in cuts to various departments to avoid redundancy. The site notes that the overall feel is one of worry and a feeling of unease because no one knows what is going to come next from either McMahon or WWE itself. Mind you, I said this report was last weekend. Now let's go through this time.
Right.
On Monday, WWE stock rose to its highest closing point in over 3 years on Monday. The stock closed at $87.82 on that day, up $3.55, so a 4.2% increase from the previous closing price. Today, the price on Monday at the close marks the best closing price for the stock since it closed at $98.50 on April 24th, 2019, before crashing to $85.38 on April 25th. The stock price has risen almost $20 in the past week, and it closed at $68.58 last Tuesday. Now, this past Tuesday, PW Insider reported that an individual who is a party in a potential WWE shareholder lawsuit that was announced last June 2022 by Scott & Scott has been informed from an email from their lawyers that they expect to move forward on a lawsuit against WWE. The email notes that after Vince McMahon recently forced his way back into the company by the way of the board of directors, the law firm believes there is enough of a basis to bring about a breach of fiduciary lawsuit. The law firm is also seeking to file a complaint against McMahon and other board members and officers for breaching their fiduciary duties. You can read the email in depth. It's on I believe I got this from Fightfuls.com, so you can check it out over there. Last June, Scott attorneys at law announced an investigation into WWE if certain company directors and officers had breached their fiduciary duties to the company and its shareholders. Around that time, multiple law firms announced investigations into McMahon for violations of federal securities laws. Then early Tuesday evening, the buck dropped, ladies and gentlemen. The biggest chip yet dropped as Stephanie McMahon announced her resignation as co-CEO of WWE, while Vince McMahon had been elected to the role of executive chairman of the board. So what the timeline that I learned reading the Wrestling Observer newsletter was on Monday. The board of directors unanimously voted for Vince McMahon to become the executive chairman of the board, which was the role of executive chairwoman that Stephanie McMahon previously had. Mind you, last week we did specify that in the last week of December, the board of directors unanimously voted to not allow Vince McMahon back into the company. Now they have unanimously voted for him to be the head of the entire board of directors. And thus, Stephanie McMahon sent out a press release that was shared on social media where she said, "Dear WWE employees, about 8 months ago, I took a leave of absence and within a few weeks, unexpectedly had the opportunity of a lifetime. I had the privilege to return as the co-CEO and chairwoman of the board of WWE. I cannot put into words how proud I am to have led what I consider to be the greatest company in the world, working alongside a remarkable leadership team and one of the strongest executives I have known in my co-CEO, Nick Khan. Our founder, Vince McMahon, has returned as executive chair and is leading an exciting process regarding the strategic alternatives, and with Nick's leadership and Paul Lefebvre as chief content officer, I am confident WWE is in the perfect place to continue to provide unparalleled creative content and drive maximum value for shareholders. WWE is in such a strong position that I have decided to return to my lead and take it one step further with my official resignation. I look forward to cheering on WWE from the other side of the business where I started when I was a kid as a pure fan, and I will always remain dedicated to WWE. I truly love our company, our superstars, our fans, and our employees. WWE is the success that it is because of your hard work. You are the unsung heroes, no matter your position. Your work contributes to our mission and makes a difference in people's lives. Thank you for your faith and trust. It has been an honor to work alongside you. Then, now, forever, together, Stephanie McMahon." She issued a very similar public statement to the social media as well as to employees. And then WWE came out with their own full statement announcing that the WWE board of directors had unanimously elected Vince McMahon as executive chairman of the board, saying that today announced that its board of directors unanimously elected Vince McMahon executive chairman of the board. Stephanie McMahon has resigned from her roles as chairwoman and co-CEO. Nick Khan will serve as sole WWE CEO. Vince McMahon said in the press release, "First, I'd like to express my full support for Stephanie's personal decision. I'll forever be grateful that she offered to step in during my absence, and I'm truly proud of the job she did co-leading WWE. Stephanie has always been the ultimate ambassador for our company, and her decades of contributions have left an immeasurable impact on our brand." Stephanie in the press release said, "I cannot put into words how proud I am to have helped lead." She basically repeated what she said in her own statement to the staff and social media. Fightful Select had a few other details on the situation. The site notes that it was reiterated that to them by WWE that Triple H will remain chief content officer and in charge of live events and talent, something that has been regularly stressed since this whole thing started. The situation with Stephanie was described as one where, as she suggested in her announcement, she was leaving to resume her.
I am like, right, they copied and paste what she wrote.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they did.
Oh, wait, I got one for you just to add to the pettiness. Before SP3 drops some more on you. If you look at her original post, she released it so quick that she ain't get rid of the Microsoft editing. I don't know if you noticed that, SP3. Look, you got to look at I think you got a good copy of it, because if you look at the one that's on her site with the screen capture, it's still got the little dots on the bottom where it's like, I'm grateful too. It's like, did you mean 4?
Grateful 2, grateful 4. Just to finish up this part of it, because guys, we got 2 more parts of this whole story before we wrap this up. But she suggested in her announcement she was leaving to resume her leave of absence that had been announced last year in May of 2022 before Vince stepped down.
Put it back up. Put it back up. No, I gotta see. Put it back up. Put it back up. Wait, where?
She said she's resuming her leave of absence that started, and then she said, I'm officially resigning afterwards. Stephanie and Nick Khan, the latter of whom is the sole CEO, are both well-liked by employees and talent members of the roster. It was noted that during the January 6th meeting at SmackDown with the staff, Stephanie led. She said that there's naturally some animosity about Vince's return before quickly correcting herself to angst. A lot of Stephanie's team exited the company during the pandemic-related cuts, and the site notes that the overall feeling among talent is uncertainty over the situation, and that some were asking what it actually meant for both Stephanie and Nick Khan. One talent may note that if Vince McMahon took over creative, it would lead to public frustration on the roster's part. Another person in the company said that they're hopeful the new development remains a sale is coming. And in addition to resigning from her job earlier this week, Stephanie also revealed on Twitter later in the week that she had ankle surgery. So hopefully she has a speedy recovery. But Rich, what was your reaction to the news of Stephanie McMahon resigning from WWE just days after her father's returning to the board of directors, and then that coinciding with Vince being voted executive chairman of the board?
I mean, and then on top of that, she also went the full, like, if you were a player in the NBA or NFL, got some ankle cleanup surgery. She's going on the DL. Like, she's like, I'm just going to chill. I'm going to put my foot up in the air and forget y'all. I took it as that. I mentioned the Wade over at the Torch. It was a lot different for her when she was going through her career. And, there's rumors and there's things being said by her dad. And, from all accounts, historically, she's seen her dad as her hero. And then when your hero does this to you, that's a lot. Like, I told him, don't meet your heroes. This is like like your Homelander's kid, and you realize, oh, we're the bad guys. Like, oh crap, man, that sucks. And that's where she's at. Yep, there it is. And then Frantic World. Yeah, I've been saying over at the Torch since I've been doing my show, Everything with Wade Keller, our editor and publisher. WWE is Succession. And Succession is King Lear. What happens with a man in power decides that he doesn't want to give that power up despite age and all these other things working against him. It's sad because she really thought she had it right. And, for me, I don't want to mess up the money. So I'll let your wonderful host continue. But I have some comments about Shane that I don't think people are realizing that are quite funny, but I'm going to let y'all cook.
I mean, they did mention this week that Shane McMahon made in excess $800,000 from one appearance at the Royal Rumble, helping out with the Royal Rumble and being in the match. And it's Shane McMahon's kind of part or non-role in all this family mess is very interesting that you brought up. But what do you think about Shane's kind of role or non-role in all this situation?
I think it's hilarious to me because do y'all know? Because I don't want to like assume. Do y'all know who Shane is married to?
I don't know her like title. I've seen her before, but I don't know like what's her name.
So Marissa McMahon, her maiden name is Marissa Mazzola of the Mazzola cooking oil empire. So Shane good. He been good. He always been good. He never not gonna be good. He's like, y'all hungry? I can fry some stuff up. Cause I see that's messy over there. I still got my stocks. I will still make my money, but y'all ain't want me. You thought, okay, I'll see you at Thanksgiving. That's where Shane's at right now. Cackling and kikiing with the missus while he watches this house fire that was not caused by oil, so they cannot be blamed.
He is laughing very hard as fuck somewhere at all this. He's like, y'all kicked me out thinking I was the problem. And now y'all got even bigger problems. What's going on with y'all? Krssi, what do you think about this whole entire situation with the McMahon family, with Stephanie McMahon resigning from her role as CEO, Vince McMahon being unanimously voted executive chairman just days after rejoining the company? And then my overall question for you, Krssi, the most important one, was this news confirmation that Vince's takeover is not going to stop here?
Definitely confirmation that he's not going to stop till he has full control. 2, I think she's very happy to be gone because I remember she resigned last year. You know, she said she needed a leave of absence because she needed a break. So her needing a break and having surgery probably all was like, okay, it's time for me to just go. But I feel like she was kind of forced out to leave also, because the timeline is just not adding up. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm sure she's happy, but we're the ones that's going to get the shit end of the stick because she's not there anymore. So it's like, it's real messy. And like you guys said, Shane is over there in the corner just like laughing at the family dinner and whatnot because it ain't him. It's just Vince and Stephanie.
Y'all made fun of my fight nights. You didn't want my ideas for the Rumble. Okay. I want to go home. Get my little jug of oil. Take my $828,000 y'all paid me for one day of work. I gave that to my one son who's playing football. That's a nice little graduation package for him. You know. Whew.
Declan got a nice little graduation deposit, right, real quick from that Royal Rumble money. Letting them eat good. But guys, I said we got 2 more parts to this because that wasn't all that went down on Tuesday evening as the hours went on following Stephanie McMahon's shocking announcement. The wrestling world went mental and went crazy with WWE sale rumors heating up big time. On Tuesday evening, a new, as of yet unconfirmed set of reports alleged that WWE had been sold to the Saudi investment fund. Again, it must be noted that none of this was confirmed at that point or until now on Saturday, but a report by our good friend Cassidy Haynes at bodyslam.net stated that according to sources, WWE had been sold to the Saudi investment fund and the company would be going private under the new ownership. The report goes along with a report by DAZN's Steve Mulhausen, which states sources WWE has been sold to Saudi Arabia's public investment fund. The company will go back to being private. Unknown if Vince McMahon will return to head of creative, but it is expected by some people. Sean Rutsap followed up and took to Twitter to state that WWE contacts claimed to not know anything about hints that had been circulating online regarding a WWE sale to the investment fund. If the sale did happen, WWE goes private, it would end a period when WWE was publicly traded company that began in October of 1999. And more information comes in. they did update things on Wednesday. There was a report, the whole report on the Saudi sale was immediately debunked by several outlets. First, Ariel Helwani wrote that there is currently no deal in place and WWE is still exploring all options. WrestleNomics Brandon Thurston spoke with a WWE source who denied the story and said that it was untrue, while John Alba said he heard similar reports as Helwani, and he added that a high-ranking WWE source told him that it was completely false. Obviously, at this time, we cannot stress this enough. Nothing is known for sure. Alba noted that it is unlikely a wrestling reporter would break the news on something like this, as this type of acquisition would be reported by something like the Wall Street Journal. Also, on Wednesday, as noted by Yahoo Finance, WWE saw its stock price drop following the recent movers of the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund buying the company. Currently, the stock price is at $89.78 per share, and it was down 0.53%. The stock price reportedly rose about 7% after the initial reports of the company being sold, but then it dipped after WWE started denying the rumors of the sale to the Saudi Investment Fund. Fightful Select had an update on the unconfirmed reports of WWE being purchased by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, which were denied by multiple outlets. Like I said before, WWE sources were reportedly adamant to Fightful that no sale to Saudi Arabia has taken place as of yet. The report also had reactions from the WWE roster regarding the rumors of a potential sale, and with some saying that they would walk out on WWE if such a sale took place to Saudi Arabia. However, the report did not say whether Vince McMahon did have conversations along the way regarding the Saudi Arabia sale, but it still hasn't been confirmed or that the sale is imminent. According to Fightful Select, while numerous talents shot down rumors, they were said to be very concerned and had questions of their own regarding the sale. There was a lot of uproar backstage at NXT on the same night that the rumors became public. Talents are reportedly fearing that McMahon will try to maneuver back into a creative role with the sale of the company, believing that a sale to the Saudis would be the only way that would be allowed to take place. Numerous wrestlers, those who have recently returned to WWE since McMahon retired last July, and even top stars told Fightful they would walk out of the company if they announced a sale to the Saudi Investment Fund. Some also believe there would be significant pushback from the roster if McMahon returned to a creative role. Talents have also been checking in with Fightful Daily regarding updates on if McMahon is pushing to return to a creative role behind the scenes. Previously, WWE was officially adamant that Triple H would remain as chief content officer. Fightful notes that there were rumors that he was moved to work in international live events. However, there have been no further verifications since those rumors surfaced. Fightful also reports that the rumors of talent being informed of a sale are absolutely false. Throughout the WWE roster, wrestlers found out about the rumors in the same way much of the world did, through online news reports and social media. They reportedly found out about the news much the same way they did regarding Stephanie McMahon resigning from her post as co-CEO and chairwoman of the company, and Vince McMahon returning to the chairman of the board. WWE talent members were said to have not been given any prior heads up and any answers or briefings regarding the executive power shift that took place earlier this week. That same day, WWE made their official SEC filing, changing up their board of directors. The company filed with SEC, notifying them of the removal of Joe Ellen Lyons Dillon and Jeffrey R. Speed and Alan M. Wexler from the board without cause, along with the other changes among the amendment of the company's bylaws that was changed by Vince McMahon. Also on Wednesday, Vince McMahon's return to the WWE board of directors is officially the subject of a lawsuit filed by a WWE shareholder against the chairman. Bloomberg reports that Scott Fellows filed a suit on Tuesday in Chancery Court of Delaware against Vince McMahon. The suit alleges that by forcing his way back onto the board of directors, McMahon violated WWE's charter and breached its fiduciary duty as controlling stockholder.
Of
Fellows,
course.
who is asking that the lawsuit be classified as a class action one so that others can join, argues that McMahon forced his way back in and then added an amendment that prevents the company from from executive deals without his approval. This is the amendment that allows McMahon to approve any media rights deal or the sale. Fellows is asking for the court to declare that McMahon breached his fiduciary duties and invalidated the stockholder approval amendment, as well as asking for damages covering the cost of the lawsuit. Miss Krissi Luv, do you think that there is any smoke to the fire in regards to the WWE potentially selling to Saudi Arabia? Because although it's been debunked, although WWE's come out and says it's completely false, I don't, because you had Cassidy Haynes and still Mulhausen who went out on a limb and reported it, but you had multiple news sources say that they heard the same rumor. They didn't say it outright. It was Cassidy and Steve that put their neck on the line and got chopped off for it. But a lot of people heard the same thing. And I think that there has to be some smoke. It might be a little bit of smoke. It might be someone smoking a blunt, but there has to be some type of smoke to this. Do you think so?
Right.
I think
right.
having internet issues.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. It's like, how many people are going to tell the same lie? Like,
yeah, I was like, this is good. You're mention the WWE doesn't want to hear. They don't want Krssi Luv to speak, apparently, because they know she was about to bring that heat. But Rich, do you think there's smoke to this Saudi Arabia rumor?
I think if anything, it's a little smoke, but I think there's a couple at work. Like even Sean mentioned in one of his reports, like there was a group chat where some folks were like, I think I heard it, and then it kind of blew up. And even if you look on Twitter right now, David Bixenspan is talking about an issue where Dave Meltzer ran into with Dragon Gate in terms of like information being given. You're assuming it's good, but then if you like do a step, it's not even investigation. It's if you do a little like, who does this benefit? Like the person that was supposed to be the source for his Dragon Gate news was the dude that don't even speak English. And so it's like, what are we doing here? Like, how are you getting emails from this person? If this dude, like, is it Google Translate? Like, and it's just people trying to get got. And so I think with the Saudi move, if it were to happen, it's not going to happen in like 8 nanoseconds. Yeah, by the way, Stephanie's out. Saudi's bought the company. Like that would be something that would be pretty protracted, because at that point, I'm just thinking from a political standpoint, there's going to be issues from the network advisors as far as like, how do we promote this? How do we do this? Or we're going to work with this? Because if you notice with Liv, with the golf tournament, it's its own thing. It's not like Fox proudly presents the Liv tournament or something like that. Like, nah. It's like, even Rupert Murdoch's like, not all money, good money. And so that's where I think where this goes. If that is the eventual group that buys it, the entity that buys WWE, that makes sense. But I don't think there's as much fire as people thought. I think, like you said, there's smoke, but I think people were kind of thinking there was a forest fire. We just dropped the curtain down. It's like, oh, everything's on fire. All right.
Yeah, everybody was doom and gloom on social media Tuesday night, and I just was kind of sitting back in the line. I'm just like, well, I'm gonna make a video about this, but I'm not gonna go out on a limb and say that it's for real. I kept saying, if it's true, if it happens, I think that Saudi is a potential buyer for WWE, but I totally agree with you. We're a long way away from a sale, even in being agreed in principle, before it comes to fruition. You had multiple people trying to buy WCW back in 2001, and it wasn't in Vince kind of swooped in, but that took a little bit of a process there. But this is a totally different situation with a publicly traded company, and especially someplace like Saudi, who would make the company go private. That's going to take that's going to take a long time from becoming official.
Right. And I think folks kind of jumped the gun on it because they assumed, okay, this is happening right now. And like you just said, like, think about the fact that you got to get that. Like, even like, look at Tony buying Ring of Honor. When he said he bought it, he still didn't technically own it for another 3 months in terms of the legal stuff that got done. So, yeah, this is going to be really interesting to see how this plays out and who actually steps up. Do you have any leaders in the clubhouse as far as people you think?
I would say the top three, and like I said, we got one more part where we'll talk more in depth about the contenders that have come up in
Yeah.
the reports. But as far as like the top ones, I'd say Comcast is the number one in the lead, in my opinion, because if Comcast purchases WWE, nothing really is going to change outside of maybe SmackDown moving to one of their networks. I think that would be the biggest change with Comcast, because they already have the ownership of Peacock. Nothing's going to change and be removed off of there. They got NXT and Raw on USA Network, which is under Comcast as well. Nothing really changes as well. So I think they would be the number one in the field house as far as potential buyers. And then I would go two. I'm sorry, two would actually be Saudi Arabia. Because of that, because they have that relationship, because that investment fund is in what, like the 200 billion, 300 billion dollars. Like, they have probably the most money that they can throw at this thing, and they can actually help out WWE as far as raising their price, because WWE is looking to get about $8 billion for this potential sale. But a lot of people are saying that they see the sale going down for like 5 to 6 billion. But if you throw Saudi into the hat there, they're just going to keep raising the price to keep themselves into that bidding war. So they will help out WWE in regardless of just being involved in the bidding war. That helps WWE. And then three, I would throw in Disney. Disney is an interesting aspect, because Disney is basically buying up everything that they want anyway. And then two, you have so much potential there where you could do a WWE theme park, or at the very least a WWE ride at Disney World or Disneyland. You could do a physical Hall of Fame at one of their theme parks. There's so much potential there that a Disney partnership is interesting. But who do you think is kind of like the leaders in the clubhouse for potential buyers for WWE at this point? Oh, he's working at the same time. That's why we appreciate the brother. He's doing both roles at the same time. I love it, Rich.
I'm trying. It's like the world's like, I'm trying to make sure, because then I got like, while we're talking, I'm like, why do I have 50 emails? I'm like, okay, I don't need. Oh my God, like, they're still coming. It's like, what is going on? It's okay. But yes, so like you said, I know we have the other section, but for me, I just wanted to throw out, for messiness purposes, the Khans buying WWE would be hilarious.
It would be after everything that Tony Khan said about, not wanting there to be a monopoly. And that's the main reason he wanted to have AEW be board, for him to be like, one of the heads for a whole thing that buys WWE, would be one of the most hilarious. I would want to be on Twitter. That would be the craziest day in Twitter history if Tony Khan somehow bought WWE, even though I don't believe Vince McMahon would ever allow that to happen.
Yeah, that would be like a complete, I mean, think about that. That would be, I'm trying to figure out like what would be the like, it would be Shane in real life.
Yeah, it really would. It really would in a lot of ways. We got a couple of comments I wanted to highlight here. Annika saying, I thought WWE is going to have a ride designed after them after WrestleMania 2017. Straight up. Yeah, that set is always one of my all-time favorites there. Safet saying Disney or Comcast should get WWE because they got the PC in Orlando. I don't think that should be the main reason why they would be the contenders for this. But let's talk about some of these contenders in the third part, our third part finale of this round of the Vince McMahon hostile takeover continues. After all that craziness, the focus of the wrestling world went on some of the potential buyers and interested parties in purchasing WWE. In the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that the Saudi investment fund is still in the running. However, especially if it's decided to take WWE private. However, there are one of several companies that are currently looking to buy. While the Saudi PIF is still in the running, it would be far too early for any such deal to be finalized. WWE is reportedly looking to sell by the middle of the year, and WWE CEO Nick Khan was actually in Los Angeles, where AEW Dynamite was at on Wednesday, but he wasn't there for that. He was there to attend the college football championship game. And while there, he met with some heavy hitters about the idea of a potential sale. Those included Walt Disney Company CEO Bob Iger, as well as ESPN CEO Jimmy Pitaro. It was noted that Endeavor, which owns UFC, is also in the hunt as well. And WWE has announced some new outside advisors for its potential sale as well. The company, which brought on JP Morgan, as we noted last week, to help advise on a sale, announced on Thursday that it has retained the Rain Group, Kirkland and Ellis LLP, and August LLC as advisors in various capacities to support WWE's management team and its board of directors in connection with a review of strategic alternatives to maximize value for all WWE stockholders and other stakeholders. Barron's, published by Dow Jones, has an update on WWE being up for sale. According to Barron's report, the Khan family, Tony Khan, AEW president and CEO, and his father, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Shahid Khan, are among the pool of potential buyers interested in buying WWE. Shahid Khan is co-owner of AEW and the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, as well as the owner of the English soccer club Fulham. The Khans would reportedly likely find a financial partner in order to acquire WWE in the event of a sale. The report states the following: All Elite Wrestling, the top rival to WWE, led by Tony Khan and family, is in the pool of potential buyers for WWE. A person close to potential transaction told Barron's that adding that the Khans will likely look for a financial partner to acquire the asset. Tony Khan's father, Shahid Khan, a co-owner of AEW, already owns the football team, Jacksonville Jaguars, and the English soccer club, Fulham Football Club, indicating that the duo have deep pockets. It was also noted a second outlet is reporting that Tony and Shahid Khan are interested in potentially buying WWE. With new details, CNBC reports that according to sources familiar with the situation, the Khans are interested in actually merging AEW and WWE. The report notes that the Khans could partner with a media partner for the IP and merge AEW and WWE. That said, it was noted that AEW has not had talks with Vince McMahon or Nick Khan, and McMahon may not be interested in selling to the Khans, marking the idea as a long shot. It was added that the Khans are open to talking about a potential role with McMahon after a sale, but again, they haven't had those discussions. Shahid Khan is actually worth $7.56 billion, while there have been some worried that Vince McMahon would start taking over more. That doesn't seem to be the case as of now. The Rest of the Observer newsletter reports that Nick Khan, who is now the sole CEO of the company, is currently running things and making the final decisions, and Vince McMahon is the chairman in a official capacity and is currently only there to work on the sale. As noted, the company is hoping to facilitate a sale by the summer, and McMahon is there to be part of the negotiations and make the final decision on media rights deals, which will be up by the end of September 2024. It was noted that the Vince has not been at the office and has not appeared at television tapings since returning, and a new report alleges that Stephanie and Triple H had expressed opposition to a WWE sale. The report from Axs covered the situation and added a note from their own reporting about internal opposition to a potential sale. According to the report, sources said that Stephanie and Triple H had opposed the sale, and it is important to note that there's no confirmation that Stephanie McMahon's resignation had to do with her opposition to the sale. Following last week's all hands on deck staff meeting, WWE held a meeting with talent at Friday's episode of Smackdown last night, as led by Triple H, and some notes from the meeting have been revealed by Fightful Select. They reported that Triple H held the meeting and talked about the recent changes in the board of directors, where Vince McMahon is executive chairman and Stephanie has resigned, as well as the rumors to the WWE sale. According to the site, Triple H told talent that he has been assured that Vince's return is strictly to determine if a sale would happen and help facilitate who to sell to. If they do at all. He also shot down the reports of a sale being a done deal, saying that even if it did happen, it would take much longer than the time frame reported. The site notes that Triple H also said that none of the changes at the top will change his creative plans or who is on the creative team. He noted that anything could change, but right now he has final say over creative, and that he may discuss things with McMahon, but makes the final call. This is consistent with previous reports that insisted that Triple H was still in charge of creative, and the site reports that Triple H comments did help calm many talent's concerns about the situation. Kevin Dunn also reportedly spoke at the meeting and said that Vince hasn't said anything to him about changes. Triple H also thanked all the talent for what they do and acknowledged that they had some concern about the situation, and it was said to be essentially a calm down meeting. But, Rich, there's some particular details in this report that I want to discuss with you. Now, the particular detail in this report was the quote from Triple H that said that Vince McMahon was deferring WWE creative to Triple H. I'm sorry. I know you.
I don't know about that one.
You working right now. I've been in a lot of different businesses. When I hear the word defer, and he said Vince McMahon deferred creative to him, that means that it's Vince's decision. So that means that Vince can defer it back to himself. So what do you think about this whole entire situation? We kind of talked about the sale prior to kind of breaking all of that down. You were very interested in the fact that the Khan family is involved in this, but who do you believe is the best option to buy WWE if they are going to have a sale this summer? Well,
first, to answer your question about the defer, I tie it into my wife. The way my wife will do it with a restaurant is she'll pick 3 restaurants. At the end of the day, I have made a decision, but all 3 are restaurants she's happy going with. And at any point, I can make a decision and say, let's go to this other. Say, nah, we're going to this one. That's what Vince is doing. He's like, I deferred. Like, I'm going to let you get this. I'm not going to let you get this.
You know what you just reminded me of, Rich? The Key and Peele skit when they talking about their wife wanted to go to Outback Steakhouse, and then she said she didn't want to go. She said she wanted to try something different, and then at the end she said you want to go to Outback Steakhouse. So I said to her, "Bitch!"
It was like running down the stairs, looking out the door, making sure. He's like, "Did you say nothing, dear?" And that's it. Vince came up to me.
Was in that meeting. Triple H was like,
yeah. He's like, Vince came up to me.
Creative to me.
Yeah, like he did the billionaire walk. He's like, "Oh, Triple H, you're a bad boy." And then he's like, "Oh, where you at, Pop? You good, Pop?" Krssi back? We don't have her time traveling?
Yes, oh God. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear you. You moving in slow motion, but as long as we can hear you, that's what matters.
Okay. See, this is when this is over, I'm calling Cablevision because this is ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know why you guys the internet is horrible on my side of town. I apologize in advance. If it happens again, I've restarted my computer twice. I don't know what's happening. Maybe it needs an update. That could be it. And I closed all my windows out. So I don't know what's
Miss Krissi, the big problem is if they paying all that money for the Knicks.
Vince McMahon is here to stay until that man dies.
Pretty much. He's here to stay, ladies and gentlemen. That's what Krssi is saying, and that's what I got from all of this. But Rich, Krssi, who do y'all think is like going to be the best option to buy WWE? We'll start with you, Rich. Who do you think is in the best position to do it?
I think either Comcast or Fox, just because they already have them, and it's cheaper to produce content you own than it is to pay someone to do it. And that also gives the unenviable position of the other person having to pay you big money to keep what is now yours. So it's like, all right, we're going to keep the WWE network. We're going to keep Raw. But you want SmackDown, the price of the brick just went up.
Pretty much. But it also comes with the Wrestling Observer newsletter that reported that apparently Fox has been losing $100 million a year on SmackDown since they purchased it in 2019. So I kind of have eliminated Fox from a potential buyer to WWE because if you look,
that sounds about right.
If you lost $100 million 4 straight years, you're not buying that company.
Yeah. Maybe that's why they brought back JBL and all the folks they always get on Fox News. They trying to get them like, come on now. Like we got some like if we gotta go get my man from AEW and start doing We the People again, whatever it takes to keep you happy, Mr. Murdoch.
It was like we'll do anything for you. We got Kaden trying to.
You're not buying that. That's you losing money, not gaining.
You got Kaden trying to help you out, Krssi. He says to turn the camera off and then back on. He says it'll help.
Oh.
Yeah, he said maybe that helped. Maybe Katie can help you out there. Frantic Glove said Triple H about to take another L from Tony Khan again. Imagine, yo, okay. Triple H.
I'll try that. Let me
Triple H will be like emotionally and spiritually pedigreeing Tony Khan if Tony Khan was a part of any type of team that bought WWE. He's like, this pencil neck geek done ruined my baby in NXT. Now he's trying to ruin my role as head of creative for the main roster.
It's like, man, listen. Like at that point, just start punching air. That's all he can do.
Triple H right now. We do have a super chat donation here from the Negro Bug, Nick Jackson. Thank you so much, Negro Bug. He says it's 2024. The WWE and AEW merger is done. He says CM Punk has beaten Roman for the WWE multiversal title in the main event of All Out Mania. In the distance, Vince McMahon.
All Out Mania.
Vince sheds a tear and asks, "What have I done?"
Listen, I just want to hear. Listen, I want to see the first time Roman Reigns walks into a locker room where he's talking to, like, him and Kenny Omega are talking, and then like the Bucks walk up to him. Does he just like open face slap one of them and say, "What you gonna do about it?" Does he have like Jimmy and Jay just roll up and be like, "Take your lunch money, take the shoes too"? They're gonna cry in the car. Like what is the dynamic? Like, how's that gonna work?
He's like, they're gonna go cry in the car right now. They're gonna go cry in the car. Man,
this my mama's shoes.
He's like, this is my daddy's thong. What we doing? That's the Uso.
Right.
Oh man, but it's a crazy situation right now with WWE, with this potential sale on the table, with all the power shifting going on. But how worried do you think talent should be in regards to about Vince McMahon potentially taking back the reins of creative from Triple H? Do you think talent should be very worried about this, or they should just take things at face value for now, Rich?
That I would love to be a fly on the wall for that.
See, it's gonna be just have them crying in the car. I think with WWE, like if I'm talent, I'm worried, and the reason I'm worried isn't necessarily because Triple H, because I do trust he's gonna try to keep their best interests at heart. I think the thing they need to worry about is when is Vince gonna say, "I'm taking the controller"? Pass the sticks.
Yes, and yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you think they should kind of be worried at this point, Krssi? I thought her turning off the camera was now I thought we were on a good path, but still having the delay.
Listen, Anika, why can't they beat Debo in the situation? I was gonna say just hand it off to my man and let Solo handle it, but I felt that was too thuggish because Solo he's more than that. Like him and Orange Cassidy off to the side, not saying nothing, and they're cool.
And Caden saying, "I trust Triple Hunter to do his best to keep control." You do that. You do that. You keep your trust in Hunter because I'm sure people trusted Stephanie McMahon after her meeting. I'm sorry when they said they were doing a talent meeting, I was just like, how do they expect the talent to believe them? like right. Because they just did that meeting last week with the staff, and all of that winded up being bullshit. When Stephanie McMahon steps down days later, I don't trust Hunter to help keep control. I don't trust anyone against Vince McMahon. I will put the whole bank on Vince McMahon over Hunter.
Almost got her.
Yeah, we almost got her.
Now you can't hear me?
You're like breaking up. I think you need that one more restart, one more update, and I think you'll be good. You could rejoin us because it's it's like a delay, and then you're not even coming through all the way. But Rich, do you have any trust in Hunter to keep control against this Vince McMahon hostile takeover?
I have trust that he's going to do what he can to delay it as long as he can. One of the things we always talk about, like when I'm talking about football, when you talk about like the offensive line, if you can't block a guy, die slow. So like just stay there as long as you can, keep the block. That's what he's got to do. And he's the only one that can do it buffer wise because Stephanie's out now. And Nick Khan, I mean, I was listening to, I want to say it was Mike Sempervive over the Observer. And he got demoted because he might still be CEO, but the executive chairman is the one that's the one making the decisions. And Nick don't care because Nick's like, I'm going to say these idiots from wrestling messed me up. I still got my bag. Once this is over, I can go back to CAA and still keep on keeping on. Wrestling is not his life. Like his sister even like I thought about it this way. If they cared as much, like they care about doing it, but they're doing it on their terms. Nanaska Khan had all these hit shows. They realized Young Rock ain't doing what it's doing. They put it on Friday to die a slow death. And then Nanaska's going to be like, Dwayne, we remember growing up with you. God bless. I got stuff to do. And it's the same thing with Nick. Once this gets sold, if it gets sold, or if Vince keeps messing around, he's like, well, guess I'll just stay. And he's like, all right, I'm out. I'm going to go do literally anything else. I'll keep my stocks because if you are going to sell at some point, I want my money. But God bless.
Yes, it's very, very, very true. And this is actually false. Caden, Vince took over when Triple H almost died. He was already in the process of doing what he was doing with NXT even before Triple H. That sped up the process when he completely just said, no, it's 2.0. But the slow decline of NXT and Vince McMahon putting his hand in it was already started even before Hunter went and had his cardiac arrest. I'm letting you know because I know from factual people that work within the company that was already in the process before Triple H went out.
Yeah, my man got fired on a sick day. That sucks.
Basically, no, he was the boss, and his whole employees got basically fired.
Yeah,
and whole job got renamed when he went out on a sick day. That was
changed the colors in the office, like the whole thing just got like.
And
your name's Butch. What?
What happened there? Huh? But yeah, this whole thing is just very mind-boggling, and it's something that, of course, we're gonna have to keep our eyes on because I think this is gonna be an ever-developing story as the year goes on. Don't you think?
Mm-hmm. I agree 100%.
So we will, of course, talk more about it next Saturday. Tru Heel Heat. At this point, I'm just expecting. We're 2 back-to-back weeks in 2023. We've been talking about this. I'm surely we're going to talk more about it next week. But let's get into what we missed from this past week. Let's start off with AEW Dynamite. AEW Dynamite was from Los Angeles, California, from the LA Forum. The ratings were back up above 900,000 to 967,000 for this past Wednesday show, and it featured one of the best top to bottom episodes of Dynamite, capped off with an accelerating end to the best of 7 series, with Kenny Omega going full on LeBron James against the Golden State Warriors and delivering in the clutch to help the Elite defeat the Death Triangle in the Escalera de la Muerte ladder match to regain the AEW World Trios Championships. But probably the most happiest moment of this episode had to be in a shocking development. Adam Cole, baby, made his return to AEW in an incredibly emotional promo, announcing he is back with one of the best embodiments of call an ambulance, but not for me meme in wrestling history, when he says, I got some bad news, and you felt the hearts of people watching around the world and in LA drop. And then he says, for the rest of the locker room. Great stuff by Adam Cole. Great delivery. You also had Hangman Adam Page got a measure of revenge by beating Jon Moxley in a hard-hitting opener and possibly concussing his rival, I guess, in storyline. Bryan Danielson also had a hell of a banger this week in the first of his series to get his shot at MJF's AEW World Championship at Revolution in a tremendous bout against Konosuke Takeshita. You also had Junglehook. They got the win over the Firm's Big Bill and Lee Moriarty in a pretty fun bout that featured Hook tossing Big Bill's big ass around the ring, which I always pull pop for. You also had Jamie Hayter and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, defeat Tony Storm and Saraya after an unlikely assist from Hikaru Shida. But no Mercedes Moné in LA. Krssi Luv, what did you think about AEW Dynamite this week? And what did you think about no Mercedes? Despite AEW not promoting her awfully, they didn't do enough to kind of scur fan expectations, so people were upset.
Yeah, they didn't say yes nor no about the whole Mercedes not even being there. So, I mean, I guess that's our fault for having our expectations so high, maybe. But I thought that Dynamite was excellent. The girls did an amazing job. Shout out to whoever did the gear for Britt Baker and what's the homegirl name? Damn.
Jamie Hayter.
Shit.
How you forget the champ's name?
Jamie Hayter.
Come on.
There we go. Jamie. It looks like very old Shawn Michaels outfit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was thinking I had Tony Storm and on the tip of the tongue, but it doesn't matter. Anywho, what I'm saying is I love their gear. Their gear looks very good. And great opener, by the way. That white and red
I enjoyed
was that's that old Shawn Michaels when he first turned heel, Shawn Michaels outfit.
Absolutely. I love them matching. I love both teams basically matching in that women's match, and I think the women's match probably would have got praised a little bit more if AEW would have done more to kind of say, no, this is not happening every single week. Don't do the mystery thing. Don't do the ticket thing. Don't play into anything. No boss line like we had last week. If they just would have presented this as the tag team match that we got from the original start, then I think nobody would be upset coming out of the show, because that was the biggest blemish from what I thought was one of the best episodes of Dynamite. Rich, what did you think was like the highlight or the best match from the episode?
I think, I love the Danielson match, and obviously the Escalera de la Muerte was awesome. I'm disappointed my man Penta got to eat. You had a 3-1 lead. Like, that ain't right.
Yeah.
Hashtag justice for Pentagon Jr. Penta is Romero. I'm sorry, I don't want my man sued up here in the United
Steph
States.
Curry right there, man. Steph Curry, he played well. He played well the whole series, but
yeah, but he got the meme of Kenny blocking him going up for the layup, and now it's like never gonna be the same. We'll get past it. We'll get past it.
He's both Steph Curry and Andre Iguodala in this analogy.
Yeah, he's both. Because I mean, that's how he act. Listen, if we're being honest, he's less Steph Curry. He's more Andre Iguodala, and then his brother really is Steph. Like, his brother's the one that hits the three and then do the little shimmy, and then getting absolutely like he should be like hit with a brick. Yep. And then he's like, anymore. And then you got Penta stepping up like, what you want. That was I enjoyed the heck out of that. I thought the ladies did well. I think top to bottom, that was a great show. It really was a disappointment that we had all this other stuff going on in WWE with the craziness, where that show didn't get the flowers it deserved, especially in the Forum of all places. Like, I was hoping they would get the dudes from Winning Time to show up, because the one thing I would say, which was kind of like a down for me, was like, MJF ain't need to be going where he went with those promos. Like, this is 2023. Like, he just spent a promo. He just killed a promo in 2022 where he talked about dudes, which he carried from MLW, dudes making fun of him in high school because of his Jewish ethnicity and like culture, and how he let that fuel him. And now you're coming out here talking about speak some English and all this other crap. Like, come on, man.
I wasn't as offended as everybody else because MJF is a bad person. I'm not going to be mad at Ed Thornton in American History X for saying all the racial slurs. I'm sorry. I'm just not. He's an actor. He's playing a role. That's the role that I expect from him. And I'm sorry, I asked someone who doesn't watch AEW regularly, in my missus, I said,
he's the heel.
MJF came out. She knows MJF. That's the only thing she knows. So MJF came out, and there was a Japanese wrestler in the ring. What do you think he did? My missus immediately said he probably did something like this, made fun of his name. I was like, yeah, that's what I expected him to do. So I wasn't as up in a roar as I saw a lot of people were for that promo.
I just feel like MJF gets some passes that sometimes Tony needs to rein him in on. Like when they were in Seattle last week, it's one thing to play the Super Bowl, which was hilarious, and like you're trying to get people, but it's like your best musician had to kill himself to get away from you guys. Like, then you're like, okay, because that's what he said about Kurt Cobain. I was like, you talking wild. You were waiting for somebody to like slap you, because if someone did the same thing to him, AEW's gonna get the please stand by. Because you can't be throwing stuff. You can't have literal Nazis running in these streets, and then you try to be anti-Semitic to a heel character. Like back in the day, Bobby Heenan would have been arrested 8 times from Friday now.
Right.
Like I still remember Chico Santana. I still remember like the way he said Bret Hart's hair was greasy. I was like, what's that mean? And then I got always like, hey, Bobby Heenan racist? Like, what's going on here? That ain't right.
I'm more offended by the stuff that Jerry King Lawler used to say. Like when Jerry King Lawler once said, I'm never embarrassed to be. I'm never embarrassed to date someone younger than me, except when I have to drop them off at school.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you got so many cases you beat.
Him and Jerry King Lawler, both of them.
They said some wild shit, and I do agree that MJF was wild with that promo. But as long as it came out that line was approved by Takeshita, he was okay with him saying that. As long as the performers are okay with it, and you know, the only people that I kind of will accept as like getting offended by this is if it's another Japanese person, because I can relate, because I was a 15-year-old fan sitting at home, and I was very offended by Triple H telling Booker T, people like you can't be world champion, and people like you are just here to entertain me. So I can understand if someone who looks like or can relate to Takeshita got offended by that. But I didn't see a lot of that. I saw people that should just realize this is a bad character doing bad character things. I don't take wrestling that seriously. Just me. That's just me. I'm probably insensitive. I will admit that, but that's just me. We also got ALW who says you can be an asshole without racist promos. Just saying. That's true. This is also true. But I don't understand what people were expecting MJF to say to Konosuke
Get offended,
Takeshita.
yes.
I'm sorry. I saw most people were upset that he said, speak American. That was him hitting you over the head with, I'm playing a character. I didn't tell him to speak English. I told him to speak American. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. So why are we getting offended by that? Just me. I don't know. Yes, I'm insensitive, people. You can bury me in the comments. Please do.
Absolutely correct.
We also got B-Boo who says, yeah, a lot of the Attitude Era stuff was edgelord and kind of cringe now. Remember the Lawler promo on Goldust where with the F slur? Yeah.
Yep.
There was a lot of that. There was a lot of insinuation of that with Goldust, especially early on.
Right. I was like, you can't speak American. Right. I was like, did he just say speak American? Because I was like, you can't speak American.
I was like, when did that become a language? I said that, Caden says, I said this on Twitter, but I had a lot of racist shit said about my last name because it's Islamic. That just brought back a lot of bad memories and didn't sit right with me. Okay, that's understandable. But that's the type. I think that's actually the type of emotion. It didn't sit right with you. It made you not like MJF. That was his goal. That was his goal, for you to not like it and to feel offended by it. Honestly, unfortunately, that probably was the goal of the statement, and I don't think that's the right goal to go for in wrestling. But if it was his goal, I guess he accomplished it, unfortunately. But I do understand that you've been through that and you can relate to that. So I definitely, I feel for someone like Aiden who had themselves in Takeshita's shoes when that promo went down. I totally understand that. We got the good brother, Professor Chris, in the chat. He says the problem with MJF saying all that racist shit is that in the wrong town, he risks getting cheered. You got to be careful with that stuff. That is true. That is true. So in some towns, they will cheer, and then that just comes off totally wrong. But LA responded correctly. As soon as they kind of were cheering him when he came out, and then as soon as he said that, they started booing the hell. As soon as he said Konnichiwa, they started booing him. So they had the correct response, don't you think, Rich?
I think so, and I think that betting on that crowd is safer than a lot of others. You go to California, it's going to be a nice melting pot. You're going to have folks that are going to be more interested in the wrestling and kind of seeing people for who they are, as opposed to kind of, like, I got you, brother. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, no, chill. Like, yeah, so this is good. I think they're right.
Yeah. But I'm happy that we had this conversation about it, because like I said, I'm not the person who should be, talking about being offended by this, because like I said, I've been in situations where I was offended by a wrestler's promo. So I think it's good that we have people in the chat that are kind of expressing how they felt and how
that's very true. Yes.
During Thursday's Wrestling Observer Radio, it was reported that AEW set a specific ticket sale record for the company during the Wednesday's Dynamite in Los Angeles. The show had the most last day walk-up sales in AEW history. As the show started at 4:30 in the afternoon, it was noted this was a good sign for AEW's business in the future, particularly with some bad advances for other shows. It was noted that while attendance for the show was healthy, it was lower than the company's debut at the venue last year. Meltzer noted that even with that, while it wasn't a sellout, it had an over 700,000 gate, and it was also possibly the fourth largest wrestling audience in the history of the Kia Forum. PW Insider reports that there were less people in attendance for this week's show than their debut in the city in June, which was a sellout crowd. However, the site reports that the live crowd filled in and that the attendance was really healthy size. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that the show had an attendance of 11,400 people with 9,400 paid. The high comp number was due to WBD officials, business relationships, and sponsors, as well as celebrities. The show had a gate of 700,000. This is the fifth largest wrestling audience in the venue's history, and the second largest gate. However, it is still was less than what the company brought in with their debut in Los Angeles last year. That show had an attendance of 15,471 and a sellout with 13,900 paid and a gate of 860,000 was the official gate for the show. Rich, what do you think? Do you think that this was the last minute ticket sales was Mercedes Moné influenced or just the lineup that AEW had to offer?
I think a little column A, a little column B.
Nice.
I can see that, especially with her. California is, WWE, when they did their first NXTs, it wasn't lost on me. When they did the takeovers, they were in the California region and did really well. That was the thing where it's like better than Mania, which probably had Vince's petty senses go up, and he got to get that payback like 10 years later. He's like, yeah, I'm going to make it colorful. I'm going to put Tiffany Stratton out in these streets. I'm going to make sure this fool never forget what he did to me. But I think more of it was the strength of the AEW brand. I think we've seen time and time again, they've had pay-per-views without a card sell out. So it's not lost on me that as the card built, they got more people to buy.
Yeah. I think that it was like the hype mixed with Mercedes. I can't 100% give it all to Mercedes, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it is pretty. She did have to get a little bit of the percentage. Was the teases, especially with the boss line. That boss line should have never came out at all on last week's show. It made a difference. And yes, I did message Krssi because I realized that she's super behind, like Caden said.
She still got the time. She's catching up.
Thanks, Caden. All your input in the chat. This is why you're never on the show. Anyway, moving on. Nico Buck, Nick Jackson saying, did you guys hear that the Battle in the Valley sold out? That's the show where Mercedes is facing Kyrie. Of course we heard that, and we're going to discuss that as well later on in the show when we get to the New Japan news. But let's talk more about the fallout from AEW Dynamite. Of course, the big thing was Adam Cole's made his return on the show, which was reportedly a surprise to many backstage. Excalibur noted on commentary that Cole was listed as TBD on run sheets, and Fightful Select reports that was legitimate. The report notes that several people backstage were surprised when Cole walked through the area to head to the ring for his promo. AEW star and his real-life girlfriend, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, commented on her boyfriend Adam Cole's return on Dynamite, and she wrote, for months, the only time Adam Cole Pro left the house was to go to brain/physical therapy appointments. There was a time he wasn't allowed to fly on planes or do anything more than go for a walk. I'm so damn proud of how hard he worked every single day to get back to you all. And Cole later wrote in response, thanks for being in my corner every step of the way. Couldn't have done it without you. What do you think, Rich? Do you think that, how is Cole gonna be as a babyface? Because clearly this promo on Wednesday was a babyface promo, and honestly, he's been getting babyface responses since he came to the company last September. So do you think AEW has, the heels that can match up with Adam Cole to keep him as a top babyface in this company now that he's back?
I think this is a great declarative babyface statement. His music, his attitude, his catchphrase, everything screams babyface. Coming off this injury screams babyface. And this ain't the WWE of a couple of years ago where all those would equal, of course, make him heel. Fans will never see it coming. I think Adam is probably, especially with Kenny in the 6-man division and kind of doing his thing, the next person that can kind of climb up that card and be a foil to MJF. And in doing so, while he had that great series, prior to his injuries. I think him and MJF would have a really good, not just in the ring, but outside with the mic in terms of a tete-a-tete. And so I think it's a win-win-win for him to be a babyface right now.
I totally agree with you. That's like a money matchup for MJF. And that's why, like, I know there's people that, you know, were upset about the MJF promo, and I saw them kind of overall saying, like, MJF has not stepped up since he won the title, and oh my God, we got to deal with him as champion for a long time. There's just so many matches that they haven't, or feuds they haven't explored with him now that he's champion, that are just like money matchups for the title. Him versus Cole, him versus Omega, him versus Hangman, like him versus Kingston. Like, there's so much for MJF to do that he's the perfect person to have this long run. You just hope that he can lean more into his creative stance and the promos like he did, you know, like you said, with the villain origin story against CM Punk, all the promos against CM Punk for the most part, as well as what he was able to do, you know, with his promo in June back in LA. It was kind of night and day from this promo, is as based on the response from the fans.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that as we go forward, Adam Cole can kind of walk the line of, he's got to explain what his actions were before he got hurt with the Bucks, and kind of breaking up the Elite. He's got to figure out what he's doing, because you also have the story of, like you mentioned, Takeshita with MJF. We also have that story with Cyrus. Callas, Don Callas, trying to recruit him at PWG and all these other places, and they're reporting it on AEW. So I think there's so many different little pieces they can put together to make his redemption a good story arc.
I do agree. Like, there's a lot for them to do in it. And then you also, with Callas, with Omega, naturally Omega, if he's going to still be with Don Callas, eventually he's going to have to go heel, especially with how we saw him as a heel against Will Ospreay. And that was just Super Saiyan Omega. That was Omega at a different level, being able to play the heel in New Japan. I want to see him back as a heel in AEW, and Cole being the babyface against a heel Kenny Omega. I'm here for it. That's the matchup I've been waiting for since 2016, when Cole signed with WWE and robbed me of that matchup that they were building up on Being the Elite. From the very first episode of Being the Elite to when Cole left, it was all building up to Cole versus Omega, and we never got it. Then Cole gets injured last year when it looked like we were on that path again. Now you got both of them as baby faces eventually. Cole and Omega, that's just money written all over.
Absolutely. And with those guys both being healthy, they can bring maybe some creativity or some storyline nuance that they might have been more careful with if they were still in their compromised selves.
Very true. Very true. Other news, you mentioned it before, PWG was also in California for Battle in Los Angeles, and had a lot of involvement from AEW talent, including a big surprise from Chris Jericho and the Jericho Appreciation Society. The JAS was victorious in a surprise 10-man tag team bout at Battle in Los Angeles at PWG, with Chris Jericho having interactions with Red Pros Michael Oku, as well as independent wrestling star Kevin Blackwood. During Tuesday's edition of Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer reported that Don Callis was also in attendance at Battle in Los Angeles, and teasing further his relationship with Konosuke Takeshita. According to Meltzer, AEW cameras were in the building filming an angle involving Don Callis and Konosuke Takeshita. Takeshita competed in the Battle in Los Angeles tournament, losing to Speedball Mike Bailey in the finals. Congratulations to Speedball. After the show, Callis was walking around the ring, and there were apparently people there posing as TMZ reporters who were speaking to Callis. Callis then went over to talk to Konosuke Takeshita after his loss, and Meltzer noted that in the angle that was being filmed, Callis appeared to be putting Takeshita over and trying to recruit him. Speaking of Takeshita, Fightful Select noted that MJF's shots at Konosuke Takeshita were cleared in advance. MJF, of course, mocked him, like we said before, so just had to also specify that report was from Fightful Select. But what do you think about this whole Callis and Takeshita relationship? I said it on AE Ramble, and I'll repeat it here. I think this is leading to Takeshita versus Omega, where Don Callis turns on Omega and sides with Takeshita. Because when you look at those two parties, who needs Callis more? Takeshita needs Callas more to cut promos for him.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. And with all of the way that they've been selling, like the fact that they're all from the same part of Canada with him, Jericho, and Omega, and being the uncle, like that just boom, it just builds to that turn. It makes it even more sweeter, the why Don why. And so I didn't screw Kenny, Kenny screw Kenny. Like I can see it all coming out of Don and him having a ball with this, and then Takeshita being the heel kind of heater to Don's inflammatory words. So yeah, I think that's absolutely a great idea, and I think that's probably where this is going.
I think we are leading down that path, and I'm all here for Takeshita versus Omega. That just put that in my veins, please. And then, of course, our final AEW note from Dynamite. We got to talk about that man again, CM Punk. And the latest as the Punk turns, we got CM Punk. This week, MJF tried to erase CM Punk's name from the PWI award for the feud of the year. MJF and CM Punk were voted by fans for the award, and Punk replied with a little shot across the bow. The AEW World Champion shared a picture of himself holding his 2 PWI awards for feud of the year with CM Punk and most hated wrestler of the year, with Punk's name taped over and his own name written on top. Punk replied in the comments of the post, writing, "Maybe find some tape for the ratings, so nobody sees those either." Oh, shots fired. Oh my God. And CM Punk was also busy hanging out with another AEW star as he shared a picture with Brody King of the House of Black to social media. He posted to his Instagram story with a photo of himself and the House of Black member getting some ice cream together. He captioned, "King used to park cars at the IKEA Forum, and last night he wrestled in there." He made a post about it, and I just think it's super cool. Go look at this post. It's super cool. So, what do you think about CM Punk's interactions with AEW talent? We talked about it last week. It kind of seems with his comments, as well as the comments from Dax Hardwood on the FTR podcast, that in some way, in some fashion, CM Punk is interested in AEW. I don't know if he's interested in returning, but he has been more frequent in interacting with AEW talent, or saying, how important his role was with his post last week, showing off the numbers for the highest viewed videos for AEW in 2022, him being in the top 2. Where do you stand as far as CM Punk in AEW?
I think, if they're gonna make that move or mend that fence, I also saw the reports that guys like Jericho are saying, "Oh, I would never make sure he'd never come back," and all this other inflammatory nonsense. It's like, well, you're not the owner. That's the whole thing that got CM Punk in the trouble he got with when he's saying, "I'm trying to run a company." You're now trying to run a company. I think that if they could make hay and make money off of it, do it. We've seen, and it kind of blew up in their face with the Sasha, but I think the Mercedes Moné stuff is maybe not a symptom, but a side effect of being so successful with having whispered around things without having outwardly said it.
Yeah.
Most notably with CM Punk. And so sometimes it'll bite you when people make assumptions and you haven't necessarily fueled them, but you also haven't denied them. Because when Tony says no comment, sometimes it's no comment to he, and sometimes it's like no comment, I ain't saying nothing about nothing. And so in this case with CM Punk, it's been that. If he starts to get to the no comment, you'll just have to see. We'll go there. But it could also be CM Punk just being a petty king and, hitting them where it hurts.
And CM Punk is known for being a petty king, isn't he? Well, let's talk about AEW Rampage. That was last night. That was taped in the Los Angeles Forum on Wednesday following AEW Dynamite, AEW Rampage. Man, oh man, I think everybody is going to be talking about the bloodbath that was the women's street fight in the main event, with Ruby Soho getting the win alongside Willow Nightingale, or as I like to call them, I'm now officially calling them Beulah Ray and Devon Dudley, the Dudley Girls, defeating the Jericho Appreciation Society's Ty Mello and Anna JAS in the main event. You also had Darby Allin getting a win, beating Juice Robinson in a really good opener that kind of overachieved, in my opinion, with Darby getting the win with the coffin drop to retain the TNT Championship, bracing with Sting afterwards. Later in the night, it was announced an even bigger match for Darby this Wednesday on Dynamite. He'll be facing former multi-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion of New Japan Pro Wrestling and former WWE star Takeshita this Wednesday in Fresno, California. Also, Rampage saw Jeff Jarrett hit our boy Cobra Kai's own Stingray with a guitar as Jay Lethal stole Stingray's Golden Globe Award. We also had the Kings of the Black Throne get the win over Eddie Kingston and Ortiz after some miscommunication from the two New York boys and some more mind games from the House of Black. What do you think about that bloodbath, though, with Ruby Soho joining the upper echelon of Dustin Rhodes at Double or Nothing 2019, Dr. Britt Baker in the Lights Out match, and now we have Ruby Soho's bloody face, some of the best bloody faces in AEW history. Do you think it ranks up there?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a really good opportunity for the women to show that it's not just, match X. I like if we can do hardcore, we can do bloodbath. Think about Britt with her match where that led to the Blood and Guts line by Vince, and then the T-shirt sales by Britt. And so I think this will just help set up not the legend, but the story of like the Dudley sisters or the Dudley Girls, as you mentioned, but also in the fact that the women can wrestle any style that the men on the roster can as well.
Yeah, it just furthers that argument with the Lights Out match, last year's street fight with Ty and Anna Jay, and then this one. It just shows that they can pretty much do whatever type of matchup that you put them in. Annika saying that Willow went off. Was this better than the 4-way blonde street fight? I would. It's tough. It's tough. I got to go back and watch it. I got to go back and watch that other street fight that they had. CM saying the Dudley Girls greater than. Absolutely. Frantic World bringing up that power bomb from Willow Nightingale was nasty. Yes. Where Anna did not hit the table at all. Oh my God. I felt bad. I know her brains had to be rattled just a little bit. Bell on the other side of the spectrum saying that's a little too much. I mean, I'm down for blood, but not to that extent. Do you think that it went over the line for some people? Can you see that, Rich?
Yeah, even like some people just don't like hardcore wrestling. One of the things I always would point to when the match between AR Fox and Swerve happened was the Fog of War match from Lucha Underground, which was probably the bloodiest match in the history of televised wrestling and one of my favorite hardcore matches of all time. And if that's not your cup of tea, it typically isn't for me, but that kind of pushed it beyond it. It was so awesome. So if someone doesn't see that as a fit for them, that's fine.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be for everyone. So we can totally understand if it went too far for you. But as you see, you got people in the chat like beep boop 100%. I was feeling that. so say, everybody has their difference of opinion, but that's what it's all about. Wrestling's all about subjectiveness. But big news that happened before AEW Dynamite this week, prior to this week's episode, we got a major update on FTR. On this week's FTR podcast, Dax Harwood revealed that he and Cash Wheeler have been granted a few months off from television. After saying he had the blessing of Cash to speak on the matter, Dax said, I also have the blessing of Tony Khan to talk about this and make a statement about this. Tony has been nothing but top notch to me and Dan, aka Cash, since day one. There are things that we haven't agreed on as any boss and any employee or even any friend. There are times that I felt the boat was missed on opportunities for us. There are times that I was super happy with everything we were doing, but there has come a time where we are at the tail end of our career. Right now, at this point in our career, is the most important time in our career. I mean that monetarily, creatively, and personally. It is the most important time in our career. With that being said, we have asked and been granted the next few months off of television, so we can sit back, reflect, and decide. Let our bodies heal. Figure out what we're going to do for the next few years. Whatever we decide to do next, will be the absolute last thing we do as far as wrestling. We deserve to continue to build on our legacy for ourselves, but also we owe it to the fans to build on that legacy because they made us this past year. I'm not sure exactly how long we'll be away. It may be all the way until the end of our contract. Our contract is up in April. It's also worth noting Pro Wrestling Illustrated delivered its fan-voted awards for 2022, and FTR won the fan-voted Tag Team of the Year as well. Krssi Luv, you seem in clear color. You seem good to go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you well,
Oh,
and you
God,
heard me.
Yay! Yes. It's fucking,
Hey.
It only took me to change the whole laptop, but you know. I'm like, my husband's like, why don't you just use your work laptop? I was like,
see, I need my missus. You need your hubby. Sometimes they come in the clutch, yo. They come in the clutch. You look all clear.
I
man,
know.
It's like night
See,
and day.
You know what? Because this my work laptop is the updated one. The other one is, So,
what do you
guys,
think about what we just discussed here? FTR is taking a few months off from television and may possibly be off of television up until their contract expires with AEW in April. Myself, I kind of read that as maybe Tony Khan has an indication that they are thinking about re-signing, because why would you let them be off television with just months left on their contract?
Right. Yes, they probably need a little time off of rest. Great, because you guys had like 1,000 belts, but fine. However, when you tell me you're going to be off to your contract, that just tells me you're shopping around for other contracts. In my head. So that means Papa H over there is like, hey guys, just checking in, just seeing how you guys doing. That was great at Wrestle Kingdom, what you did, by the way, last week, But yeah, I'm a little nervous about that part. I hope that they don't go back, but I can't talk about people's money and their finances and their homes. They have reps and lives to uphold, and they have a certain amount of like lifestyle that they have. So if the dollar bills y'all is calling, then I can't be mad at y'all, to be honest.
But Dax has like several different injuries, including the broken ass bone. The broken ass bone that he's talked about. Caden bringing up the most important. I know an important part of this is Dax has about 3 to 4 major injuries. This man needs a break. Yeah, most definitely.
He needs a rest. Yes,
but at the end of the day, he definitely needs a rest. But at the end of the day, this is a business, and if I'm Tony Khan, unless there's any indication, you either I don't understand how you would let them be off television. You just have months left, and you're not going to extend their contract, even though they said they might be staying off of television until their contract expires. I don't know.
Yeah, I would extend that contract. I take my Vince hat, put it back on. I'm like, hey, you know what? You can stay here maybe till the end of the year. How about that? Like, we're not letting you go. You want to take time off? Go right ahead. I'll pay you what, but your contract will be here till like November. Instead of April.
And Annika saying, I said they would be the first ones to leave AEW, but someone said no, they got 3 belts. That's stupid. Cough. It was SP3. Cough, cough. It's still stupid, Annika. It's still stupid. It's still stupid. If they choose to leave AEW to go to WWE, where Triple H has given no indication he cares about tag team wrestling. He's only pushed 2 tag teams since he got there. Like people wanted to tell me when Triple H went into problem. Oh, Triple H is this big advocate for women's wrestling and tag team wrestling. What has he done for the women's division? Jack and shit. And the tag team division, all he's done is push the same damn team that Vince was pushing. So what the fuck are y'all talking about?
And then sent the New Day to NXT. So which one? What's happening?
So FTR going to re-sign with WWE to go have another run in NXT. Great job, guys. Get watched by less people. Get watched by less people. Great
Facts.
job. Negro Buck said, I would be shocked if FTR doesn't resign. Yeah, that I think you're not understanding what I'm getting at here, Annika, is that Tony Khan letting them have months off before their contract expires, it might be a sign that they are thinking about leaning towards re-signing. That's what I think. I agree with
And
Negro
to be
Buck.
honest, if they don't re-sign, then they can't go Impact. They can't go to New Japan. They can't do AEW. They can't go to the 3 different checks that they was getting. I don't like. You had 10 belts. Like, don't you want to go back to having a 10 belt? I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
And we don't know if it's happening, if they're leaving, and they would be dumbasses to leave right now. Like everybody's saying in the chat, everybody around you, Annika, is saying that you're wrong too, because they're saying Triple H won't even be in charge by Mania. Invader Ace.
That's a fact. I forgot all about that. He may not even be in. You're right.
You're not even being in charge. What are we talking about here? We talking about them leaving. We talk about them leaving like this is a good idea. What are we talking about? Anywho, we need to talk about what else went down last night, which of course was Smackdown. Smackdown was shaping up to have a very excellent main event, as you had Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn before the Bloodline injected themselves to cause a disqualification and beat down Kevin Owens, ending with Solo Sikoa with a huge running splash on Owens through the commentary table. We also had Gunther beat Braun Strowman to retain the Intercontinental Championship in a really, really good damn match. Like, I was very surprised. The crowd was hot for this, and Gunther is just showing us he is incapable of having a bad match. If you can have a really good match with Braun Strowman, you are incapable of having a bad match. Later in the night, the Gunther officially declared himself for the men's Royal Rumble match, praying. Let's all do a prayer circle that leads to the Gunther Brock stare down. Brock stare down in the Rumble. You also had Bray Wyatt. He brought back the rocking chair and admitted that he is Uncle Howdy before saying that his official rebirth begins at the Rumble when he faces LA Knight in the Pitch Black match. Sonya Deville brawled with Charlotte Flair to earn herself a rematch for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I don't know how that works, Bo. In the women's division, Raquel Rodriguez beat dummy Liv Morgan, who wanted to get herself disqualified by using a damn table in a match that she would have been disqualified if she used the damn table. God, I hate Liv Morgan's new character. But any highlights from last night's SmackDown, Miss Krissi Luv? What did you think about the conclusion of Owens and Zayn?
I was actually hoping for Sami to do it by herself. I feel like he was on the urge of like getting it done. First of all, they did a banger of a match. That's number one.
Yo, he hit him with those 2 snap half and half suplexes and stuff. I was like, oh, Sami going in his bag right now.
Yes, I was like, Sami, this is old Sami Zayn right here. This is like NXT Sami. No, I thought that, Sami could have like did it by himself. Like he was like, all right, I got this. Like this would have like I feel like that's what it took him to like the next level. Even though I know this is the demise of like them like pushing him out, this would have been like Sami would have been so like his head would have been so big. But I see what they're getting, because now it's like you see how they kept looking at Sami, and Sami was like what are you guys doing? Like, I had this, I got it, I was good. So now it's like, and then they attack Kevin Owens. So it's like now I don't know when the switch will come, but this is the will for when the switch is going to come.
Yes, we saw everything kind of really put it out into the forefront last week when Roman yelled at Sami, and now we see that he didn't trust. He gave Sami this opportunity, but he didn't even trust him to finish the job. He had the bloodline come out and help him out, and you saw the conflict on Sami's face. Sami sold that whole ending very, very well.
Yep, absolutely. This is the best work Sami has done in like years. So I hope when he's not with the bloodline, they'll still keep this ball rolling for him, because he's really, really good.
Yeah, I agree. And that would be cool, Annika. That's actually a good idea. Unlike FTR leaving AEW to go to WWE. Annika says, honestly, I want Solo to be the one to beat Walter Gunther. Walter is his fat cousin. Come on, let's not do that. For the
He was
Intercontinental.
fat when he was Walter.
We're not gonna talk about his fat cousin. Come on, what are we doing, y'all? And Caden, this is why you're here. You came here because we recap it all. Don't worry, we here for you, brother. But some news coming out of SmackDown this week. Miss Krissi Luv, a new report, has some details on creative plans for Edge for the upcoming pay-per-views that were being discussed late last year. Fightful Select reports that as of November, the working plan was to have the WWE Hall of Famer face Finn Balor upon his return at the Royal Rumble. It's important to note that this information was ahead of Survivor Series, and the match was scheduled to be a Hell in a Cell match, which we've previously discussed. The report goes on to note that the plan also had Edge and Beth Phoenix teaming up at Elimination Chamber in Montreal to take on Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley of the Judgment Day. Of course, it must be said that this was a couple of months ago, and that plans can change with the matches not official until they are announced. PW Insider has an update on rumored return slated for this month's WWE Raw Rumble Premium Live event. According to the report, both Edge and Beth Phoenix are slated to appear on the card. So Edge and Phoenix returning at the Rumble to possibly set up the match with Balor and Ripley would likely make sense as they're looking for retribution from what happened at Extreme Rules last year. PW Insider reported that there was word at this week's WWE TV tapings that Doudrop would be making her return around the Royal Rumble as well. As previously reported, Doudrop recently revealed on social media that she's been away recovering from an illness. And then lastly, the other name being mentioned is none other than your favorite, Miss Krissi Luv, Logan Paul. He's being talked about a potential Rumble appearance, provided his knee is healed and ready to go. Paul suffered a torn MCL meniscus tear in his match against Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel last November. So I'm ready for Beth to be in the Rumble and have her stare down with Rhea Ripley, but do you think that we get the returns in the actual Royal Rumble matchups, or do we get it ahead of time to set up some matches for the Royal Rumble?
I think they'll probably get the stare downs during the Rumble, and then we'll have the matches at like the next pay-per-view, maybe, because you need something to go into after Rumble. So what's the next pay-per-view after Rumble?
Elimination Chamber in Montreal.
And that is the hometown for the Canadian peeps. So
exactly, it makes sense.
They got to show out
and have a big match. Yeah,
it does make sense for him and his lady to have a great big match in Canada. So yeah, we're gonna have the stare downs, and they're gonna be like, "I thought we got rid of you guys," and then they're gonna do like the whole back and forth, and then that's when because I mean they need someone to like challenge right now. I mean they have their little things right now going, but this will help put them into for the new year.
Yeah, I think this is going to set it up, and you need those type of surprises in the Rumble. Edge is known for his returns in the Royal Rumble, isn't he? Right. You know, he's done it so many times. We got Caden giving his take, saying put them in their respective Rumbles. I think that's definitely the right move. We can all agree on that. Caden though says no, bad timing, Logan. Logan Paul is not in the best light.
No, I think
of now.
I'm about to say, do not let these people push you to doing this stuff so that they can get more ratings. No, fix your knee.
No, he's more talking about he's been involved in this crypto scam on so he's dealing with some bad PR right now.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, no, stay home. It's okay.
Yeah.
Stay home.
And you know, one thing WWE doesn't need more of is bad PR.
Yeah.
Let's move on to WWE Raw this week. They did 1.693 million viewers. The show featured the Judgment Day going through the entire tag team turmoil, last eliminating the Street Profits to become the number one contenders for the Raw tag team titles, having a stare down with the Usos to end the show. I thought this was a really good use of time for the final hour with the tag team turmoil, really focusing on the tag team division, and it felt like a big push for the Judgment Day in this one.
especially Dom.
My highlight, yes, my highlight is our boy Dominic Mysterio, because before the Judgment Day won the tag team turbo, Dominic Mysterio explained his experience in prison and how he smacked his cellmate in the face, and how prison taught him to always roll with your crew, as he was the guest on this week's Miss TV. We also got Alexa Bliss with a nice promo explaining her actions from last week, as she has now fully embraced who she really is, before Uncle Howdy made his Raw debut to play some mind games on Alexa. You also had Kevin Owens describe us all that we had to sit through a JBL and Baron Corbin promo segment to start the show. And then Kevin Owens hit the stunner and beat Baron Corbin in our opener for the show. Post-match, the Bloodline came out to once again jump Kevin Owens, who fought them off with a steel chair and Mike Rome's shoe. And then we also had Solo Sikoa get another big victory over a former world champion, as he defeated Dolph Ziggler in a really good matchup on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah,
as
really
well.
pushing Solo.
This is like the best NXT call up in years, maybe. I would say the best NXT call up since Bianca.
Yes, I agree. Absolutely. He's been on a winning streak. Like he hasn't been
beaten yet.
No. Everybody he's taken down, and to show that he's the enforcer and the quiet one that don't talk, which I love. I would love to see the stare down between Orange Cassidy and him. That would be great. That I didn't know. I didn't know I needed it till you said it. But yeah, this is a great call up that they finally got right.
Yes, absolutely. What do you think? Because we had in the comments, someone said they want this Solo to be the one to dethrone Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. How would you book kind of to give Solo kind of a bigger role now that he's been so successful since getting called up?
I wouldn't mind it. I don't want Gunther to be dethroned yet, but I won't be mad at it if the whole point of this show, this whole dynasty, and this dynasty being the power of the WWE, then yes, they should be dripped in gold. Then all you need is your lady. You need a lady in the faction. If you there's missing pieces, and they don't want to put the pieces together, and I don't know why. This is what we're talking about, people. Like, this is where we're saying you have such good stuff, but I feel like you take 3 months that it could have been done like a month ago. Like, if you just and then let them keep still having the same dominance, because again, who on SmackDown? You have Charlotte back. Why wouldn't Naomi be the best person to be the women's champion? Hi, Harlow.
He said hi. You say hi?
Hi.
She's shy. She's camera shy. Oh, she said hi. She said hi.
Oh, she just said hi. Okay.
Say wave.
Hi, kitty pie. Okay, she said no. Aww.
She said no.
But yeah, I feel like if he could be the great one to dethrone him, because he is on the SmackDown brand. But like, let's do it. If you're going to like, don't pump the brakes, because you still have this whole like dynasty. Like, I don't see you guys taking the belt off Roman anytime soon yet, because we still don't know what's happening. Like, we're still like lost in the shuffle. Like, who is his next thing? But he's just sitting home, like just relaxing. So he doesn't care. So.
Not at all. Not at all.
What do you think, SP? What are you thinking?
My booking, I think that Roman should get to 1,000 days as undisputed WWE Universal Champion, and then he could drop the title to whomever. But after he drops the title, because I felt like this was always a red herring when Solo debuted on the main roster at Clash of the Castle, and then they had the promo on SmackDown following. They specified that Roman had no idea Solo was getting called up, and that the elders told Solo to come to the main roster. So I think the next message the elders tell him is to take out Roman when he loses his head of the table status. And then we get a bloodline with Solo, the Usos, and maybe then a heel Naomi.
Okay. I can see that. Okay, so then we're just eliminating Roman all the way, but we're still going to keep the hope.
They need to beat down Roman to the point that Roman could take some months off, maybe do a movie or two, then he can come back and you have a big money matchup of Roman versus Solo Sikoa.
Okay. I like that. I like that idea. I feel like it'll still keep Roman still being like powerful, but he got dethroned by the younger generation because the elders told them that they're the ones that are for the future. They can take this family to the next step or beyond whatever.
Because especially if they get the whole Rock and Roman thing, it could be about Roman's insecurity of Rock, coming back, trying to take his spot as the head of the table. And that causes a rift in the family. And the elders feel like Roman now needs to get out because he's too paranoid. He's too in his own head. He wants to be in control of everything. When he's not in control, the elders of the family are in control.
Oh, okay. Yes, because at the end of the day, the elders are the ones that are controlling everything. They are telling him what to.
The elders were the ones that put the Leia on him back at Hell in a Cell 2020, which confirmed that he was the head of the
table. Yes, and he's been wearing them ever since. He has not taken them off. So Solo will take them, and now he's going to be. Ooh, that's good.
That's what I think. I don't think Gunther. I think it needs to be like a baby face that dethrones Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, because it's been on a hill. Yeah, that's true.
That's why I think it's better use of Solo for him to be the one that officially, he doesn't have to dethrone Roman of the titles, but he's the one that gives Roman a well-deserved vacation.
Okay. I like that. I like that idea. Okay, I'm with it.
Negro Buck saying, I'm all for that, SP3. They have been alluding to that since Solo joined. Yeah, 100%. 100% they have. And Annika shouting out Harlem Heat on the show. Y'all been wanting for her. She's back on.
Can I ask a question? Beeple, why is your avatar Spike, but like Spike from the Rugrats, but like he looked like he's high or on drugs? Tell me that's not Spike from Rugrats.
That does look like Spike from Rugrats on some weed. Big Mike saying
like
Solo.
Like he ate the edibles, and now they're like, Spike, what are you doing?
Big Mike joining us in the live chat. Thanks for joining us, good brother. Saying Solo is keeping Roman comfortable right now. Yes, he's getting a real comfortable false sense of security. It's that false sense of security. He says it's a Dolan meme. He says Gooby. Okay. And Katie says Dom is with the Grove Street families. Yes. Dom. I think Jeremy, my good friend, my co-host from FMC on Fightful Overbooked, said it best. Dom is to Judgment Day what Sami is to the Bloodline.
He is. Yes. He was the thing that the gift that we didn't even know that we'll keep on giving.
No one knew that they needed that, but that was the difference between what Judgment Day used to be and what they are now was the good brother Dominic joining them. And he's been comedy gold, especially in his feud with Ray.
He was what? He was in jail, a week? Like, I was like, how long?
A couple of hours. The Miz exposed him and said it was a couple of hours.
You know what? I was like, did you even go to the bookings? Like, come on, stop it, son. Like, they posted you bail, so.
Nah, son.
You had to punch his cellmate. Like, did you see a judge?
Some news coming out of Raw. PW Insider had an update on William Regal's new title in WWE since he returned to the company. As previously reported, William Regal began working at WWE again behind the scenes starting last week. Per the report, Regal's new official title in the company is Vice President Global Talent Development. So he won't be being seen on TV, but that's an upper echelon type of deal that he has now, a title that holds some weight. But I'm pretty sure he's done text Tony Khan since this whole Vince McMahon thing started.
Oh Lord, like say, can I get my job back? Like,
can I get my job? And Rich is back with us. Rich, you missed our Dominic conversation and why Dominic is the best thing to happen to Judgment Day.
He really is. I mean, he's been through it. Like, man, what prison changes a man, and we see it in that rehabilitation on national TV every week. I'm loving it.
Orange is the new black, but to Dom, purple is the new black. It's purple. It's purple.
Like him in prison, Mike.
It's like they gave him like a new swag. I don't know what happened or what he did in the back, but he walks different. He talks different. Like, I don't know if Rhea Ripley did something to him, but it's just something that's just like his head is on like 1,000 right now. That confidence, that the shy, timid Dom we seen with his dad is not the Dominic that we see with the Judgment Day. It is like a 360, and this is what we were saying. Like this was a good move for him because this will make that character be pushed out. And look what happened. It's wrestling gold comedy. It's great. It's entertaining as hell. I need more vignettes of him.
It's one of the best things on Raw right now.
Yep, one of the best things.
Bloodline and Judgment Day, the best things on Raw right now. NXT, they had their New Year's Evil special this week. They did 700,000 viewers, and the show featured Toxic Attractions, Gigi Dolan, and JC Jane getting eliminated at the same time to end the number one contenders Battle Royal. So they were officially named the co-winners of the Battle Royal. So now they will face NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez in a triple threat at NXT Vengeance Day on February 4th. Speaking of Vengeance Day, Dijak got the win over Tony D'Angelo to set up himself versus Wes Lee for the NXT North American Championship. And we had a bucket load of returns on this special for NXT.
Really?
My girl, Tiffany Stratton, returned with her two new friends. She returned to the show.
Oh, wait, it's been some upgrades, son.
She got the upgrade. She got the evolution. She went from Charmander to Charizard. We also saw
she did the Charlotte Flair effect, son.
Yes.
The Carmella effect.
The Carmella effect, yes. We also had Callas make their return from suspension, winning the number one contenders tag team gauntlet, setting up an NXT tag team title match against the New Day. We also had Jinder Mahal, the modern day Maharaja, make his return to NXT, aligning with Sangha. Yes, aligning with Sangha to take out the Creed brothers, and then Jinder defeated Julius Creed later in the night. I don't agree with that result at all, but it's what it is. And then we also had Braun Breaker defeating Grayson Waller via countout and wonky ring ropes to retain the NXT championship. However, later in the night, Shawn Michaels announced a steel cage rematch for Vengeance Day between Braun Breaker and Grayson Waller. All in all, this was a pretty good show. I didn't think anything on this show was like great matches, but it developed things and they set up things for Vengeance Day coming up in February, which is going to be their first premium live event out of the CWC. So I'm very happy for Toxic Attraction because I didn't think they were gonna get this opportunity coming off of Mandy being released.
Yeah, it was looking real sketchy for them, put it like that. I was like, what's going to happen to this faction that was like, led by the champion, and now the champion's no longer here, and I'm surprised like no one is like, yeah, we're they don't even mention her name. Like that's how the extension it was nothing said about like their missing leader. So I'm happy for them. Hopefully like this keeps them in the same like lane or whatever that they were in, like catapult them to still stay in the same like
I'm hoping that they have this triple threat and they get called up to the main roster. The main roster needs women's tag teams, and GG and JC is the best in NXT right now at that.
That's
so
true.
Bring them up.
They have no women's tag team. Excuse me. They only put people together, and this is a legit tag team. But they got rid of the other legit tag team that they had, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's not looking good, but women's tag team divisions in either NXT or the main roster. Negro Buck is happy to see Tiffany Stratton is back. We also got Ness saying Tiffany Stratton as well. He's happy to see her. Frantic World saying Tiffany Stratton got some big upgrades, Krssi.
Wow.
Yeah. We got Bella says, yes, the blonde princess is back. You, my boy Blue, saying I popped for Jinder in NXT.
Did you really?
I mean, he fits better there, to be fair. He fits better there.
Probably so.
Bell saying, does anyone think that they could put Chelsea Green as the new leader of Toxic Attraction? What would you think of that, Rich? To Chelsea Green
Oh, I
coming
think that's
in?
perfect.
I'm about to say that actually doesn't sound bad. I like that, Bell. That's actually a really good idea. I didn't think of. I forgot she's supposed to be joining. She's joined them. She's just still in the back with creator. No, she would be great as a new, especially with this new status that she is right now. I think that would be the perfect person to go. I thought they were going to give it to what was Mandy's best friend? That's fighting with Charlotte right now.
Sonya Deville.
I thought it was going to give it to Sonya, but no, I like Chelsea's. I like that idea. If you want to keep them as a 3 faction, then give them Chelsea. I vote Chelsea. Good answer, like Family Feud. Good answer.
That is a good answer because they don't know.
They don't have nothing for her.
Again.
Like why sign me if you don't have anything for me? Like why waste my time?
That's the damn theme of her career in WWE. They never have creative for her.
Like don't keep wasting my time now. I could have been doing something else. Like, but she knew she was doing that. They because you should have been like, okay, you should have put in your contract. Let me develop my character. Let me do my thing first. See how it works. Give me at least 3 months. Give me 3 months. Let me prove that I can do this. But who am I? I just I work at a school. It's okay. I have 2 kids. I don't know anything. It's okay. Yeah.
Hey, you seem to know more than them. I'm just saying. But speaking of Toxic Attraction, their former leader Mandy Rose kind of did a tell-all this week in the wake of her.
I saw that.
Previously reported release from WWE, Mandy Rose gave an interview this week providing an update on the Tamron Hall show and shared her side of the situation. Certain details remain under wraps, but Rose was able to discuss her viewpoint and a few aspects of her release. She noted that she would never say never about a return to the company, but said it would have to be a conversation if ending her fan time site was a condition of her to do so. On if she was given warnings or asked to remove any content from her site, she said, unfortunately, there is a confidentiality and I can't really discuss that. There was the one warning to take it down and I complied. On her view of the tone of the content she made available to fans, she said, and I quote, everything that I do in the privacy of my own home, showing my friends behind the scenes action, whether it's photo shoots, my everyday personal life, nothing is wrong with that. That's what I was doing. You can't believe everything you see on the internet. Not everything is accurate. When I show photos, me sexy, like how I've been showing on my Instagram, which everybody can see, there is nothing wrong with that. On if she felt she was targeted by WWE, she said, and I quote, I don't really know. I don't think I was targeted. I think it was just more everyone has their own opinion. I don't see anything wrong with that photo. Rose, they showed the photo of Rose wearing the NXT Women's and NXT UK Women's titles and nothing else, as they didn't either, she said. Everyone has their own opinion on what they think is appropriate and what's not. On her sense of whether she was treated unfairly by the promotion, Mandy Rose said, because of everything that has happened since then, everything happened for a reason, and I can't even say I was wrong because I'm so forever grateful for everything that the WWE has presented me with. I can't say I was wronged or not. I'm hurt. I'm very hurt. No one wants to get that call and that you're being fired from any job. I was very hurt and very disappointed. I was disappointed more because of everything I put into the business. But just the last year and a half, I was champion for 413 days. I unified the 2 titles. I was the 3rd longest reigning NXT Women's Champion. I also created this must-see faction with 2 other women that I brought up. I got to see so many women develop their characters, and they are younger than me and at the beginning of their careers. To me, that was so important because it was so rewarding for me. Losing the title was obviously a gut punch. I was so disappointed. At the end of the day, my purpose was gone, and that's where I felt lost and confused because of all my hard work. Driving home from that, a lot of things were going through my mind. You always think there are unanswered questions. At the end of the day, I love what I've done in WWE. I love the platform they presented me with. I am forever grateful. So it's kind of like a sombering response. Like, you could tell that she's very much still, affected.
She's sad about it,
by the release and sad about it. Rich, what was your kind of viewpoint on everything that went down with the release of Mandy Rose and now her actual statements in regards to the situation?
Well, I mean, going back to what we were just talking about in terms of her replacement, you think about when she left, it was OnlyFans and maybe stuff with her now husband. And Tamron, and every time I hear Tamron, I think of Cameron, and it just messed my head up for a minute. But Tamron
how did
Hall
she get on the Tamron Hall show? Like, I was like, what happened? How did we get here?
Hey, I'm here for it.
No,
I think Tamron must be a wrestling fan or something.
It has to be something, because I was like, Tamron Hall show of all people, she went on her show. I'm like, that, because Tamron is like a journalist that just happened to have a talk show now. You know what I'm saying? Like, she did Dateline and all those things. I mean, like, not whatever, the one that come on NBC. Anywho, like, what I'm saying is, like, it must have been real serious. I was like, wait, I seen a clip and I was like, Tamron Hall. I was like, what? No way. But yeah, you can definitely tell that she's really like sad that no one wants to lose their job. No one prepares for none of that. I mean, she's good, yeah, but
and how many people want to be demoted? Because that's really what she was.
Yeah, she was,
and
demoted,
she made the best of it.
And she made lemon out of lemonade. And look at her.
And they're still punishing her for doing it. And for me, I get if you have like you have sponsors, you have all these reasons where there's propriety clauses, all that crap. That's fine. But Warner, like, talk to her.
Yeah, we got Annika kind of saying that. Very interesting that she didn't flat out say WWE didn't give her a warning about her OnlyFans, and she said that they gave her a warning and she complied to the warning, and then they turned around. It still wasn't good enough.
Yeah, they still. She probably could sue them for that.
Well, she said there's some type of confidentiality. I don't know if it's like a non-compete for her to kind of say the truth or something like that. I don't know what it is, but it's very interesting. And I think this is kind of probably maybe a story that is going to further develop as time goes on and as she's able to talk more about this situation.
Yeah.
But we got New Japan didn't have any major shows after Wrestle Kingdom and New Year's Dash, but they had some big news that we missed this week. On Sunday, Fightful Select reported that Jay White is currently booked for more NJPW shows scheduled for after WWE Raw Rumble, which takes place on January 28th in San Antonio, Texas. There have been questions and fan speculation regarding White's future in NJPW after he lost the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship to Kazuchika Okada last week at Wrestle Kingdom 17 at the Tokyo Dome. This has led to fans speculating he could show up during the Raw Rumble as a surprise entrant. Jay White is also challenged.
Don't do it.
Also challenged Hikuleo to a loser leaves town match the night after Wrestle Kingdom at New Year's Dash, which also sparked speculation that White could be leaving. That match is scheduled for February 11th in Osaka, and we've also talked about last week, Hikuleo is being getting eyes or interest from WWE as well. And then Tuesday, before the uproar of WWE drama, the big news of the day was that a new report from Fightful Select indicated that Switchblade Jay White's contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling is due to expire in the near future. And sources from the promotion believe White intends to part ways with NJPW. Fightful reports that both WWE and AEW have displayed interest in acquiring White for their rosters, although sources from WWE appeared assured that WWE would ultimately come out on top in getting Jay White. No promotion is permitted to make any official offer to White until the conclusion of his NJPW contract. However, as of this posting, there is no actual guarantee he will leave his current promotion. February 11th is the upcoming date for the White versus Hikuleo match. Hikuleo has garnered the attention of WWE for some time now, meaning that either wrestler could have favorable evidence for an intended victory. Fightful also reports that roster members from NJPW feel White would prefer to transfer to the United States for the immediate future. In terms of recruitment efforts, Fightful has previously confirmed from other sources, as well as White himself, that WWE has made significant moves to pursue the wrestler. These efforts have seemingly intensified over time, and White has also done work for AEW and Impact Wrestling over the past year. Over the course of his time with NJPW, in absence of a contract with either promotion. In the past, White has told Fightful that he has enjoyed his work in All Elite Wrestling, although the company never really formally approached him about signing with them. And in reference to much earlier rumors that his contract would extend until 2025 and that AEW was taking an interest in signing him, White told Fightful that them approaching me and some contract I was on, both things 100% false. As of this posting, however, there has been no response to official inquiries by Fightful to both NJPW and Jay White about his current situation. But boy, oh boy, I mean, I put it out there on my Twitter. I think if there's any guy outside of WWE that seems tailor-made that could be a top guy in WWE tomorrow, it's Switchblade Jay White. He's one of the most complete performers in the ring, as a character, on the mic, that I've seen in New Japan, AEW, doesn't matter. I think he can go to WWE, especially if it's a Triple H-led WWE. He could go to WWE and be given that AJ Styles push and be a top guy for the next 5 to 6 to 7 to 10 years.
You think so?
I think he is. He's that talented, in my
opinion.
No.
I know he's that talented, but I don't trust WWE with him. That's
I mean, you are smart. You are smart to not trust WWE. I think we made that clear throughout this podcast that trusting WWE is not what we would advise people to do.
Right. But like you said, if you do, like AJ's run has been like, from when he got there till, he's injured now, which sucks. But like, it's just been like an up and down. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like Jay White is so good. Like I don't know, like, if they can put it in writing that they're going to do what they're supposed to do, then I'm like, all right, I'm game. But don't come and make me come here and then be sitting back here and then I ain't got shit to do. You know what I'm saying? I have to keep my name. I have to keep the same I have to keep all of this. Are you laughing at me?
I'm laughing at the fact that you just, like, I'm imagining you right now, Krssi, as Jay White's agent, just like walking in and like telling him like exactly like this.
Yes.
Like, I could just see like Triple H's eyes getting wider and wider and wider. And then Vince comes in and says, now I know I defer to you, but she's got a point. Like, just like, what we doing?
I just
I need
think
to fine print. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. So
I understand. Where would you say right now your gut tells you with Jay, if he did leave NJPW, where do you think Jay White would sign, Rich?
I think I agree with you, and I agree with Krssi. I'm split in the middle. I think it would be WWE, but it would have to be very specific role because he is built to be a North American heel. On television. Like I saw that with Impact, and we might have been the 7 people that saw it on Impact. But this past summer, he did it, and he did it well, and he carried storylines. He did more, and I know everybody loved Kenny and the gang, but he did more for Chris Bay and for the dudes that he brought up and brought over there than those guys did in terms of their own division.
Yep.
In terms of getting them in the Bullet Club. It wasn't just like you in Bullet Club till the other folks show up, then you gotta get shoved out the way.
Right. Yeah, no. He was,
He went recruiting like he was an SEC coach trying to find some players. And so I think that helps him out a lot. And if he went to WWE, you mentioned AJ Styles, I would also double that because much like AJ Styles, you put him in the ring with Roman, and much like Vince had his issues with AJ, he was his guy from then on out once he saw how good he made Roman look. AJ would do the same thing. Switchblade would do the same thing.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
I didn't think about that. That's actually really good. Okay, guys, fine. You've. I still want the shit in writing though, but
I feel you. I feel you, sis. I feel you. And especially if AJ's gonna be out for longer, you could have a situation where Jay White comes in and steals his friends and starts his own club. and then you instantly have a ready-made feud when AJ is healthy.
Okay, give it to me. I want it. I need it now. Put it in. Stat. I need it.
That's why I'm here. I'm here for the good booking, ladies and gentlemen. Hire me, WWE.
I about to say hire him. Like your lady can't get no inside work. I'm just saying, like, sorry. Yeah.
We'll talk. There is a major update on NJPW Strong. In late December, NJPW President Takeru Obari took to Twitter with an interesting message noting that hashtag NJPW Strong will be rebuilt next year. Tanahashi has now commented on the future of Strong in a recent High Fly blog post, revealing that the brand will end following the recently taped matches air. Tanahashi wrote hashtag NJPW Strong, which has been going on for over 2 years, will come to an end with this recording. It seems that overseas tournaments will be announced in a different form in the future. I think that this is kind of an indication that whatever NJPW Strong is, it's going to be kind of merging with whatever Ring of Honor is going to be, because Tony Khan did allude to that at the Final Battle post press conference, that there would be New Japan involvement with Honor Club. I think that's what's probably going down here now that NJPW Strong is ending officially. But of course, we brought it up. I highlighted the comment earlier. It's been a big week for Mercedes Moné, as NJPW announced this week that the February Battle in the Valley card featuring Mercedes Moné challenging Krssi for the IWGP Women's Championship has officially sold out. The Wrestling Observer newsletter has more information on Mercedes' schedule for both NJPW and Stardom. She is currently scheduled for NJPW's first Sumo Hall show of the year, which will be after the New Japan Cup. Beyond that, she is also set for Stardom's event at Yokohama Arena on April 23rd. It was noted that those two shows will also feature defenses of the IWGP Women's title, so it's possible that Moné will defeat Krssi at Battle in the Valley and become the champion. I think that's a no-brainer. She should. It was also reported, though, that there is some heat on Mercedes Moné. While she was in Japan, Moné did not attend any Stardom events and didn't even go to the New Japan Pro Wrestling Dojo. However, she did post pictures from the Sendai Girls Dojo, a rival of Stardom. That company is owned by Meiko Satomura. The feeling is that since she's with Bushi Road, she should only promote their companies when in Japan, but it's possible no one explained that to her and how those lines can, get a little money and get a little personal with the different companies. It's also worth noting she's also making moves in Hollywood, as she's joined the cast of the upcoming action thriller The Collective. Deadline reports that Moné and Paul Ben Victor had been added to the cast for the Tom Belushi directed film, and the two join a cast that includes Lucas Till, Ruby Rose, Tyrese Gibson, and Don Johnson. You got Nash Bridges. You got Nash Bridges and crying Tyrese in a movie with Mercedes.
How we get crying Tyrese in this thing? Because he's a baby.
Let's go.
He need that work.
He gonna get that work, man. Those fast sequels is running out. So we gotta get some work done.
Let me find out Dwayne got to get them going. Well, Dwayne, he's so happy with Black Adam. He gonna have to call up Vin. They have to work something out.
You think? Yeah.
It's like, I don't like you, you don't like me, but I got kids.
We make money together. It's a cash cow. Yeah.
Let's work this out, y'all. Let's work this out. We also got Annika says, why can't this be earlier in the day? I would definitely watch this live if it was at least at 1 a.m. Well, Battle in the Valley is going to be earlier in the day. If you're talking about that, that's actually going to be that one. Battle in the Valley is going to be in San Jose. So I think if they start at like 8 p.m., but it might be at like 8 p.m. Pacific. It might be a start. So that means it's going to start here, in New York and stuff, like 10, 11 o'clock.
Got it. Okay. Yeah,
that's the only.
Okay, that's better than 3 a.m.
Exactly. It's better than usual New Japan stuff.
I was suffering last week. Whew,
yeah, I saw you.
I should have woke up at 5, but it's okay.
I be telling people just call me. I got you on
Okay.
how the cheat codes to watching New Japan.
Because I could have just seen the last 2 matches and I would have been set. I would have been great. That's all I really need. I mean, I would have missed Mercedes, but I could have watched that on. They had it on Twitter, like at every, like it was there, like
almost
everywhere.
instantly. Yeah.
Instantly, right? So I didn't need to see it like then. But next time I know what to do for New Japan, I'm going to wait for the 2 final matches and go from there.
There you go. GCW had what many fans call in one of their best shows in recent memory. With GCW Save Me in Chicago, they had highlighted by Hate Club getting the win over the East West Express Hate Club of Nick Gage and Matt Tremont, getting the win over Nick Wayne and Jordan Oliver in a really good main event. You also had Joey Janela and Jimmy Lloyd defeating the Second Gear Crew in a crazy brawl. Blake Christian beat Leon Slater in a fun bout, and Homicide defeated John Wayne Murdoch. Over on Impact and on Access TV, they had the go home show ahead of Hard to Kill, with Sami Callihan officially becoming Callahan after the design cut his hair and he joined the group.
Wow.
Moose, Eddie Edwards, and Steve Macklin defeated Joe Hendry, Jonathan Gresham, and Rich Swann in a fun 6-man tag main event as well. So some good action on Impact on Access TV, which of course led to last night. I don't know why Impact keeps doing this, but they had another Friday night pay-per-view going head-to-head with SmackDown and Rampage with Hard to Kill. Highlighted, it opened with awesome. Well, this match had no right to be as great as it was. The Full Metal Mayhem with Bully Ray losing to Josh Alexander, who retained the Impact World Championship. This was bloody, has some great storytelling.
That's great. That's all
exactly. That's all we're here for. That's all we're here for. We're here for the Bully Ray loses agenda. You also had the Motor City Machine Guns beat Ace Austin and Chris Bay, Heath and Rhino, and the major players in a fatal 4-way to retain the Impact World Tag Team titles. In one of the more interesting notes, following the matchup, AEW star, or should we say former AEW star Frankie Kazarian came out and announced that he had signed a full-time contract with Impact, signaling his departure from All Elite Wrestling. You also had Santino Marella made his return to Impact Wrestling as the new Director of Authority and restarted the match between Moose and Joe Hendry, with Joe Hendry retaining the Impact Digital Media Championship. Shout outs to Joe with our exclusive interview you can check out on the channel right now. And in the main event, Mickie James went at it with Jordan Grace in a title versus career match for the Impact Knockouts World title, and Mickie's career on the line. And Mickie, in an excellent main event, kept her career going and regained the Impact Knockouts World Championship and ended the night with her son celebrating with her family in the ring. Very nice moment to end this show. But the big news, like I said, Frankie Kazarian signing with Impact Wrestling. PW Insider had some more information on that, and they reported that Kazarian actually asked for his release from All Elite Wrestling following his match with Josh Alexander at Impact Overdrive in November. The decision was said to be completely amicable between the two sides, and a case of Kazarian wanting to push himself harder and being able to do more in Impact due to the size of the AEW roster. Kazarian was said to have done things the right way and would be welcome back to AEW.
I think that's the best decision that he has made. Yes, that is the better place for him. Absolutely. I agree. He did. See, you got to do what you think is best for you. See, we've been saying this the whole episode.
Like, dude has only, like, he's been there pretty much off and on throughout 2022, and he was like featured in one of their top storylines with Honor No More, and then he won the Impact X Division Championship from Speedball Mike Bailey. Then he's in the main event against Josh Alexander. Like, he did way more in like 2 or 3 months in Impact than he's done in AEW in like 2 years since SCU broke up.
Yep. And think about it, his tag partner is already in the position in terms of Daniels, where he's the talent relations guy. So he doesn't even have that niche in the back. So he at least could have a foothold from a leadership standpoint. If he still wants to wrestle, maybe he don't want that family life yet. He wants to still be out in them streets. Impact's letting him do it.
He belongs to the streets, y'all. But
My goodness.
that is all that we missed this week. So we're gonna wrap things up as we always do with Miss Krissi Luv's favorite part of our episode, the match of the week. So to explain things to Rich, every single week here on the Tru Heel Heat podcast, the flagship podcast, we give 3 matches, our gold medal, silver medal, and bronze medal for the week. The best 3 matches that you saw during the week. I will start things off. It was a very busy week of professional wrestling, but I will say the bronze medal I'll give to, like I said, I think this match overachieved, and I might be the high man on it, but Josh Alexander versus Bully Ray, that delivered way better than I thought it would. I'm gonna give that the edge over Mickey and Jordan. I thought Mickey and Jordan had an excellent matchup, but I was more surprised of how great Bully and Josh was. So I'll give that the bronze medal. Silver medal, I gotta give it to Bryan Danielson versus Konosuke Takeshita from AEW Dynamite. That was an absolute banger and exactly what I was looking for between those 2 guys. And then the gold medal, my second highest rated star rating that I've given this year, 4 3/4. I didn't go the full 5 like Dave, because this match needed 5 more minutes and I probably would have gone 5 stars. But AEW Dynamite Game 7, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, the Elite versus Death Triangle, Escalera de la Muerte. That was the best match of the week. That's my gold medal. Krssi, what's your 3?
Bronze is going to go to Kevin Owens and Sami. I didn't like the ending, but they did a banger of a match. Silver is going to go to the lady street fight from Rampage last night, which was
that's
really
my honorable mention.
They went over and beyond. I was like, okay, girls, like I see y'all. All right. And then my number 1 is definitely like you, SP. Game 7 was not undoubtedly like the best. That was, like you said, they needed 5 more minutes, but they delivered for Game 7. That was a Game 7.
That was like all thriller, no filler, 15 minutes of just like them just
nonstop.
That Hurricane Rada by Phoenix on Nick Jackson, where his ass bone just hit the ladder. Yes. The hardest I've ever heard it. Like,
my husband was like, "Is he okay?" I was like, "He gonna be all right. He over there rolling on the side. He all right. He good. He good.
He's not gonna be able to sit for a week, but he be all right.
Definitely needs a cushion, but it's okay."
Rich, who is your gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal for the week?
I would go with bronze. I'm going to go with the Bully Ray match versus Josh from Hard to Kill. I thought that was, I'm not the biggest Bully Ray fan, so the fact he could get me to be enthralled by that match, that's enough. Like, that was outstanding. And even the heat to lead to it, like that, the stuff with him and the like Bully, there's just the picture of Bully Ray, just that meme that he lived it, and it was a great match. Silver for me would be the Takeshita match, because not only was that a great another one of those Danielson checkoff specials, but it also is kind of sowing the seeds, like we talked earlier, for he's trying to do it the right way, just not hitting it the way he needs to do it. Now I got to get a guy to show me how to win the right way. And then gold, Game 7, even though my man in the back, like Pat Riley when he was with my Knicks, just like kicking trash cans. Mr. Abrahantes just like kicking them trash cans. He's like, I got an outfit. We looking good. I got a fit. And you gonna do me wrong like that out here? Oh man, he should have had a rolled up newspaper to slap Pac across the face with. Like, it was just, I was so angry after that. I was beside myself. But it was a magnificent match. It showed everything. When folks say it's like flippy do and all this, no, you can do that style and tell a story. And those 6 men told a story.
Yep, for sure.
Absolutely, totally agree with everything you just said. We matched up well on our matches of the week this week. Annika says bronze medal, Raws, tag team turmoil, silver, Dudley Girls versus Jay.
I love that Girls,
this is
yes.
the thing now.
They were the Dudley Girls, yes. She was like, "Get the tables." I was like, "Oh, this is what we doing." Okay. I was here for it.
She went with gold, Hangman versus Moxley. That would be another one of my honorable mentions. I
That
love
was
that
good.
match.
Yes, that was
But
good too. Yeah.
I just felt like that match, they were just holding on a little bit for the next match. They were holding back a little bit. So that's why I didn't mention it there. Negro Buck says Game 7 gold medal, silver medal, Dragon and Takeshita, bronze medal, Hangman and Mox. Shows you how great that episode of Dynamite was, because all three of his matches is on that same episode. And then we got the good brother, Kid Get Money, with a $10 super chat donation as we close things out here. Kid Get Money, Krssi Luv, Rich. He is the #1 Jacksonville Jaguars fan. Me and Jimmy make a joke every week on AE Ramble. He's the main one that gives us super chat donations, and he's been giving us more since the Jaguars made the playoffs. So we're hoping the Jags win some more, because now he's even giving super chats on the flagship. He says Hard to Kill could also be the name of the Jaguars playoff run. I'm getting ready to head to the stadium and cheer my team to victory. Tune in tonight, watch the Jags win. Hashtag it was always the Jags. You gotta love Kid Get Money. Thank you so much for that super chat donation. And like I said on Thursday, I'll say it again here, I'm rooting for the Jags just for you and just for the super chats. That's what I'm here for. But thank you so much for everyone for joining us for Tru Heel Heat 208, especially our special guest, Rich Fann. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
He's juggling work and juggling the podcast at the same time. He is a magic man, a great father, a great person at work, a great person at the Torch. Let the people know where they can follow you, good sir.
Yeah, absolutely. You can follow me on Twitter at Rich_Fann, FANN. Or if you want to listen to my stuff, you can anywhere you get podcasts like Tru Heel Heat. You can search for PWTorch Daily Cast. Typically, I'm on there every 6 weeks with Wade Keller on the Wade Keller Pro Wrestling Podcast. Additionally, on the VIP side of the Pro Wrestling Torch, I'll pop in on Everything with Rich and Wade, our show we put on weekly that talks about the events of the week and all the fun stuff in pro wrestling. The deep dive with myself and Will Cooling, which Benno is quite well versed in terms of him being a member of the Benno-verse, myself as an ancillary member. And then finally, you can see me doing the East Coast cast with my main man, Travis Bryant. And if you stumble into any of these other universes, such as Tru Heel Heat or Post Wrestling, you'll see me stumbling there every now and again.
Yes, love all the work you're doing, good sir. And I'm still waiting for my invite to the Torch. I want to get on the Torch. Yeah, we're gonna go. Me and Krssi, we bring the heat to the Torch. That's what we do. Krssi Luv. Krssi Luv, let the people know where they can follow you, sis. And we're gonna get demands in the comments that you use the work computer every single week, because it's been beautiful the last hour.
The whole time. I see that. I look clearer. So we're going to have to use the work computer now. Sure. But yes, you can find me every Saturday on our flagship show, Tru Heel Heat, 11:05 every Saturday a.m. Krssi Luv _1, which is my name on my feed. Tru Heel Krssi Luv on Twitter, IG, and Facebook. It's just Crystal Lynch, Krssi Luv _1. Servant Face and Hill, we'll be back tomorrow. Me and my good girlfriend, my tag team partner, Stephanie Hypes, will bring the ladies wrestling of the week to you. We have been gone. We'll be back in the new year, so catch you there.
Indeed. Check it out tomorrow, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time. Serving Face and Heel's first podcast of 2023. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SP3. You can follow the gang Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Tru Heel Heat. Go over and subscribe to Tru Heel Heat Sports right now. They'll be going live at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the start of the NFL playoffs, doing watch-alongs today and tomorrow over there. Twitch.tv/Tru Heel Heat Gaming. We got some gaming coming up next week, as well as Blunt Impact returning, because we're going to make sure Ness doesn't go to sleep. And Patreon.com.
Going to sleep still? Damn, Ness.
Patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat, $3 a month. Your Tru Heel Heat Prediction Championship Season 3 has started. So I want to see Dolores. I want to see all the folks over there taking part, giving their predictions. You got my Raw report that's up right now, as well as the post show for Tru Heel Heat every single week is up on there as well. And of course, check out all the great content that we got on the channel right now. We had the fellas last night with Friday Night Warriors number 16, watching Hard to Kill, Smackdown, and Rampage. page and check out my exclusive interview with Impact Wrestling digital media champion Joel Hendry. We talked about his time in Ring of Honor, his experience working with Tony Khan, if he was ever asked to be a part of Ring of Honor some more. We talked all about that, so check it out on the channel right now. But huge thanks to Rich Fann of PWTorch. Thank you so much, Miss Krissi Luv and the work computer. It is your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat 208, the daughter demise / buying what they selling. We are signing off until next time.
Laters.